Welcome to the show. Clump, are you with me?
I am, senor. Howdy, everyone at home.
We
This
are
is
doing
Senor
it.
Clump.
Senior Clump opening the show. I am Ref Marsh. It is awesome to be back after this week's worth of wrestling. Clump, how you feeling? You been off? How'd it go?
Uh, I'm feeling good. I've been doing a thing for work. It's been long, but I feel
Hell
good.
yeah.
Waking up at 7, 8, waking up at 6 is not something I'm designed to do.
Oh yeah, you're awful at that. You don't even go to bed till 5:30.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't believe they expected
Like,
that of you, but hey.
yeah, no. There's been multiple times I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'll, hang out here, watch TV, and then I wake up and it's like, oh, I have to clock in 60 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh god. Um
Clock in, no shirt on. What's going on?
What do you mean? Get dressed. Awesome, awesome. So we are live. Today we got Kevlar coming in a little bit later. Clump, what are you drinking today?
Coming in hot. I am drinking Jamaica from Filiberto's. It is a lovely restaurant that has many locations. I would love them to sponsor us because I want as much super fries as possible.
Super fries, endless super fries. Can you imagine?
Oh, my colon would have endless poops.
Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh. My whole life would be shook up inside and out. Everything would be different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
So
burning holes
anyone
and
who
everything.
knows anybody who's working at Filiberto's, see if they can get us a sponsorship. What's up?
Just
GR
burning
Lunar's
holes and
already in the
things.
chat. What's up,
Oh.
Lunar? Happy birthday to him. Happy birthday, Gianluno. It was his birthday yesterday, dude.
Aw. Happy birthday, senor.
Yeah, if you go check out his Twitter, he may or may not have gotten a personalized video from Kayla Braxton. I'm drinking Johnny Walker Red Label again, finishing off the bottle tonight, and we'll see how that takes us through the night.
I never had Johnny Walker when I drank. Like, is Red Label the super high status one, or is that like
No.
Blue Label? Nope.
Blue Label's much higher status. Gold and green are up there too. But red is pretty much their bottom tier. It's a 6-year, and everything above it is like goes up, right? So the black label's 12-year, and then you've got like 100-year and 80-year, and it's
Jesus.
crazy. Clump's coming in fuzzy. That's kind of his bag.
I
Yeah,
forgot
it's
to
gonna be
shave
insane.
today. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well,
Coming
we'll
in fuzzy.
see. We will see. GR Lunar says he's had Blue Label. Little fun fact about me: I have had almost every label that Johnny Walker has to offer. I had a friend who spent a lot of money one night. We did it.
And I got to take advantage of that.
100%. 100%.
I remember I did have that Remy Martin VO, like
Yeah.
the $3,000 bottle. I had a glass of that because they had it at a restaurant, and it was it might have been the dumbest way I've ever spent $100 on a glass of something.
Is Remy a brandy?
It is, and I don't like brandy, so I don't know what.
I was gonna
I had
ask,
already
yeah.
had some beer, so I was like, "Oh, that'd be a good
So I'll try
idea."
it.
Yeah, no.
That's a bit. I could see myself going. You know what? For $100, I love Scotch. I'll try it out. But brandy, I'm not often been a fan of, so I don't see myself doing it just to even see if I would like it. You know what I mean?
You, it tasted really like feet. You could really taste the feet.
I'm surprised you didn't like it more then.
Not a feet guy.
Yeah. Believe it or not.
I know
let's
what I look like. I'm not a feet guy.
Yeah. Let's see what we can do here. So because Kevlar's going to come in a little bit, we're going to go ahead and probably he didn't watch AEW or NXT, so I say we get into AEW straight away. What do you think?
I think that's a good one.
All right.
Um,
I'm not as organized this week as I usually am, which is not organized much at all to begin with, but I didn't even really write down tops and bottoms. I put a bunch of talking points. I feel like if we
Yeah.
get through our talking points, if there was something we missed, the chat's either going to tell us or it probably wasn't important.
and I got a few tops and bottoms for it to jump in, so I'm there too.
To balance that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
Uh, Go ahead.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, I got a few, I got a few jokes and a couple of bottoms
Yeah, I
written
was
down
just
about
gonna say I
AEW. I actually felt like so last week I actually really enjoyed AEW, and
Mhm.
if you listened to last week's episode, which I know you didn't because you never do, uh, my brother had watched it for the first time. Chop, who always loves AEW, we all three agreed that it was one of their better AEWs in a while. But I feel like this week was a huge step the other direction. I feel like it's like a heartbeat over there. You don't know what you're gonna get. If it's gonna be all good or all bad. Um,
Yeah,
this one
no,
did
this
not.
this
This one did not impress me. How did you feel about it overall?
same. I was really kind of let down by this, and I actually totally meant to jump into chat last week, and then because of early schedule, I slept through the
Yeah,
show.
that's
Yeah,
fine.
no, but like last week was
We're
great.
also a
This week
podcast. You
was
could have
far.
downloaded it. If you go to wrestlingontheRocks.com or
And
to
what am
anywhere you
I gonna
download
do?
your or anywhere where you download your favorite podcast, you could definitely download our podcast.
And you can have pretend debates with us, like I would have done if I listened to it.
Yeah. Clump, your video is completely like froze on us.
Okay.
It's just like
Um,
fuzzy and frozen.
let me see here.
So just something to look at. Is it a caution sign? It looks like a pause sign. Are you sure you didn't click on his video?
That is weird. Let's see here.
All right, you're back. It looks
Oh,
like
that's
it was definitely our side.
cool.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Whatever you did. Let's see.
I did nothing.
Hey, wait. Oh wait, no, it's in the chat. If they're trying to do the clump, I believe it's clump and not clumped for the command. We'll see. There it is. You clumped up. You clumped
You
up.
clapped up. You clapped up.
Yeah. So the previous week you did enjoy a lot.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I liked it overall. I mean,
Overall, I
AEW
thought
to
it
me
was really
has, yeah, like AEW to me has been something that I love. I love the performers, and it sometimes be an utter like a guilty pleasure. Last week felt like pretty decent, and I was like, yeah, this is a
Yeah.
good show. I could see this being a positive.
Yeah.
This week, totally not so.
Definitely didn't. So let's go through a couple of things on it. I felt like. Let's see. Well, let's just go this way because you had tops and bottoms on it.
Mhm.
Go ahead and
I had
and
bottoms.
you didn't have anything on there that was a big highlight of the week.
I liked the Scorpio Sky Cody match, and I like anytime I see Scorpio Sky in a singles push, and they've really like got on and off the gas with him. So I'm excited to see. Oh, cool! Let's keep the heat on him now, and let's see
Yeah.
what we can do with him. So I was very
100%.
happy with that. Yeah.
Here's my
Um.
only issue with that match because I thought it was really cool. A couple spots here and there were whatever they were. My only issue with this match is the same thing that I keep saying about everything else that Cody does. He makes everybody a struggle. So when somebody gets one over on him or takes him to his limit, it's not a surprise or abnormal, and it's not star making. I think Scorpio Sky has the potential to be the biggest star to come out of AEW all around.
Yeah.
My problem with that match wasn't that Cody had done those things. It's that Cody put in so much work to make sure he put over Warhorse and Sonny Kiss. He actually spent less time in this match with Scorpio Sky than either of them.
Yeah.
And Warhorse was pretty sloppy and not great. It's really cool for him in his career and being an indie guy. He can say he had that match and he probably learned a ton from Cody and all of those things. And, he could go on and be amazing. But in that match, he did not come off really strong and he took Cody to his limit. Here you had Scorpio Sky looking incredibly strong. And Cody having a lot less issues with Scorpio than anyone else, and Warhorse isn't there anymore. You did all that for a guy who is back on the Indies. Not to say they couldn't hire him, but as of right now, you've got Scorpio Sky, and he's been on there since day one. You've invested a lot more money into him. Those big matches, those long, trying matches for Cody, should be reserved for guys like Scorpio.
I agree. I think what Cody's been doing has been admirable, but I think there's a better way to do it. I think
Yeah,
what I really appreciate. Let's bring in these talents. Let's hire people, but also showcase people who aren't getting a paycheck. Yeah, but you don't have to have all of them come in in this way, and then all of them have this match go to the limit. You could
Yeah.
have someone like, I don't know, you could have a revolving, um, just announced we're going to bring people in from other promotions and we're going to have a one-on-one match, just
Yeah.
revolving.
Or you know
And then,
what? Let Jungle Boy have 3 or 4 matches against Cody during this open challenge, and let the first couple of them be complete squashes, and be like, dude, you're not on my level yet. Keep working. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Have him steamroll some people who are there every week, so you can see someone grow and get better. But he's being taken to the limit by people the first night we see them, and then here you have someone established like Scorpio who can't get the job. He can't take it even as far as a guy who just showed up. Warhorse walked
yeah.
in and took him to his limit. Scorpio Sky, he had about 5-6 minutes with him. So okay, so Scorpio, we're not seeing him. Jungle Boy had a more competitive match with Cody. I just don't get
Yeah.
that.
I feel like what's happening in the result of this is it feels like the idea of, if everyone's amazing, then no one is. By
Yeah,
making every match, and Roman did this the same way. However, Roman also had squashes. Like Roman Reigns was kind of, we'd always joke, man, he's getting his ass kicked so well, and then the last 60 seconds he shows up.
yeah,
Um, this feels more like Cody's getting fucked up and having great epics. Awesome, that's amazing. He doesn't need to go here every week, and I really think, yeah, having some squash matches, or also I want them to keep bringing people in, but have, like, imagine Eddie Kingston versus Ricky Starks
yeah,
on AEW. Imagine Warhorse versus someone else, and then you occasionally have somebody get there and they go to that point. But then when it is Sunny Kiss, when it is Scorpio Sky, people that they've invested time in, they look great. Or have
yeah.
the one-off, like, I loved Eddie coming out the way he did. Have Eddie come out and be
Oh
like,
yeah.
"Oh fuck yeah, that's great." But we
And
don't
the
have
thing
to do
is,
it.
Eddie's match should have meant more than his promo did, but his promo meant more because his match was, although hardcore, so a little atypical of the standard TNT title match, it
Mhm.
still was just another guy on his first night taking Cody to his limit again. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So I mean, it was super smart and the best thing they could have done to give Eddie a mic first and say, why don't you go out there, make a name for yourself, and then we'll give you ring time. And like that's exactly what he did. He's like, yeah, give me the mic, and everything else is just frosting. You know.
yeah.
So that was my
No,
only issue with that match is that Scorpio Sky didn't get to show up as much as these random named people who come and go. And that was a bummer to me because I really, really like Scorpio, and I truly believe when I watch him on TV, I feel like I'm watching a star.
yeah.
When I see some of these other people, I feel like I'm watching an indie guy getting a shot. It's just a bummer to see him not take him to the limit the same way.
And not even, like, in some cases you see people that I wouldn't even say it's an indie guy getting a shot. You're seeing someone where you see Scorpio Sky and you're like, why aren't you stepping your gimmick? It comes off like I get to phone this in because they're so sure of what their gimmick is, and they don't seem to be pushing themselves or pushing others, and Scorpio does. You
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah.
some of my bottoms here, which I
Go ahead,
got
hit
some
your next thing.
bottoms.
Hit your next topic.
First match, the Jacksons versus the Dark Order. Um, I get
That
the Jacksons whenever they're in a match. It used to be when I would watch Ring of Honor, when I would watch them in various things, I'd be excited because it'd be fun, but it'd be a good match. But
yeah.
in this element in AEW, I'm now at a point when I see, oh, the Jacksons are going to be a match. My interest is more in, okay, so how are we going to try and convince ourselves that this is wrestling and not choreographed, offense?
It is they are the most choreographed, I think, or maybe it's just the most obviously choreographed. Uh, I felt like with the Young Bucks watching that match, there was definitely moments where I thought, do people really like them? Like, are people actually like fans of them, or are they fans of around them? You know what I mean? But I felt like the Young Bucks did a few things that were just, I mean, almost a lot of that stuff was nonsensical. What was I going to say about that match specifically? Oh, so typically in Young Buck matches, I like some spots. I'm like, okay, I don't usually like their matches, but I typically like spots because that's kind of what their matches are, a series of spots strung together one way or another. And there's usually a sequence or two where I'm like, that was really fun, or that was cool, or that probably took a lot of fucking work to get done. This match had none of that. By the end of it, I just thought, what was that? And even I know a couple of diehard AEW fans. They live and breathe by AEW, and everything else is just not up. And even them, after the match, I was like, honestly, guys, did you like that Young Buck match? And almost all of them across the board were like, you know what? That's probably my least favorite. I didn't like anything in that match. Didn't like the finish.
Yeah.
Didn't like the match. Something I feel like they're beginning to phone it in.
It really felt like that, and maybe it's a lack of chemistry with other people, but I haven't seen a match with the Young Bucks in AEW where I've been like, damn, that's, people with a lot of chemistry. I've seen, in my view, they and the people they work with have fallen to what they perceive as being desired, which is those spots. And you can have those once in a while, these weird spots, like, yeah, they all work together to make that work. That's what this is. That's okay. But it feels like it's so many spots going on and on and on that it becomes very flat. It becomes very shallow, one note. And then when you have a match like this, which is not even, a spot fest, it's just kind of, it felt like it was building exposition to a feud between the Dark Order and the Young Bucks because the Dark Order got fully involved. But if that's the case, then, do you really want to feed your big guys to them from the outset, or do you want to have the Dark Order run in later?
I don't know what we're supposed to think of the Dark Order at this point. I really don't.
Yeah.
They're back and forth with them all the time. They never come off looking all that good, and even when they're looking good, they're looking mediocre to everybody else in the ring. It's really weird. I don't know what we're supposed to think about them. If we're meant to be intimidated by them, it's not working. It doesn't make any sense. Every time I see the Dark Order, it's like just their standard jobber. It's really like feeling like when you play career mode on any of the 2Ks, there's like a series of random avatars you go through first. And that's really what it feels like. You're like, all of them, not only are they not booked strong, they're literally all masked, so it doesn't matter who you're facing. But then they also try to give them names on commentary. I didn't get that at all. And also this week, JR was saying, oh, they just seem to be growing by the numbers every week. It seems like they have more and more. They have less now than ever. They just have more people you've named. If you remember Double or Nothing, they came out with like 30 guys around the ring. Mm-hmm. Remember that? And then they made a fucking chair for the guy to sit on out of their own bodies. And now, yeah, it's just like 6 guys, but you know all their names.
It was, and what upsets me is I for a lot. I mean, they make these promos with them. They make these videos with them. They do weird things like the website where you could join the Dark Order. And I'm like, damn, that's good. I'm okay with this. Keep going, guys. I like that. That's new. That's different. And then it doesn't get backed up. And I think also part of it is, do they ever win cleanly? And I mean, I know that AEW in many ways is kind of like late WCW where there's a lot of small, like, shit finishes. Yeah. But have the Dark Order ever won anything? And I, other than Brody Lee doing some squash matches, I think we need to have this become competitive. They need to win and mean something, but I don't know if they can. And to me, that sucks because I really liked this.
Yeah, you really liked it going into it. Mm-hmm. For sure, and I really kind of feel like dropped the ball in Dark Order. While we're talking about Young Bucks, that segment with Rock and Roll Express and Tully and Arn and FTR, did that feel like a big cameo to you? Like, it felt like the Young Bucks paid to have Arn Anderson, Tully, and Rock and Roll Express come out and say nice things. It felt like there could have been a cameo logo in the bottom corner of that whole segment.
Yeah.
It came off so forced, unreal. Like, they also looked so fake. They looked fake touched. Like, they knew every word that was going to come out before it happened. They were like nodding aggressively when they would say positive things about them. And when they would say something about FTR, they would cartoonishly and childish be like, okay, okay. Like, I don't understand what the Young Bucks are providing in any form of entertainment. I just don't. And this came off like a paid-for ad. Paid for by Young Bucks.
What Senate seat are you guys going for?
Yeah. How much are you willing to pay to convince people you're a good tag team? Because you've stopped trying to convince people in the ring.
Yeah.
Because after 15 years, no one buys it. But, funny thing, a lot of people have been talking about how the Rock and Roll Express will tweet out stuff about how good the Young Bucks are. And every time I see that, I go, well, they're just petitioning for the people who are paying them the most right now. They just want to get another shot on camera, is what it feels like and looks like. I know a lot of people don't listen to Jim Cornette's podcast for a lot of their own personal reasons. I listen to it to argue with myself at times. Sometimes I don't even finish the episode. But in this last one, he mentioned about that because his co-host had mentioned something about them tweeting out about it. And Cornette was like, oh, please. He's like, get out. He's like, honest to God, if you think that either one of them are controlling their own Twitter, he's like, you've been worked more than anybody else. He was saying that one of their Twitters, the one that goes on about the Young Bucks, the Cornette blocked because it had said something along the lines of, do you want to see Cornette, take the dick flip from Joey Ryan? And it was like a poll. And so he blocked it. And he said that, like, after the weekend was over, he gets a phone call from him saying, like, oh, man, I saw that you blocked me. I feel so bad. What happened? And he goes, well, your stupid fucking Twitter said. He goes, man, one of the guys at my school runs it. He's like, I'll tell him to lay off you. And he goes, yeah, we'll tell him next time. And, he obviously cut a Cornette promo. But it's not a shock to believe that people who are controlling his Twitter are fans of the Young Bucks because they also want a job. Yeah. But every time I hear these compliments, they look and feel and sound so forced that it just comes off uncomfortable, and I wish they would just forget it altogether. Or just go ahead and get that Cameo logo on the screen.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's nothing wrong with just make it a
Paying
cameo.
people to say stuff.
I think it'd be a more compelling and interesting story if that came up, where it's like, wait, you're paying these people. Like, that'd be neat, but no, I don't think it doesn't work for shit in this case anyway, because it's the Young Bucks against the Revival, and the Revival, I mean, FTR. Yeah. Fuck it, FTR. The FTR has been. I heard producers say it.
Yeah.
FTR has such a cool old school mystique to them, and when they come in, I don't even know why they're paired together. Is it just because they're so far apart? I know that they've had this on again, off again feud, but I don't care.
I think it's because they did a really poor job of setting it up. They completely shit the bed on the booking of that from the beginning, and I think you'd be hard pressed to find any podcast by anyone, fan or otherwise, from the lowly list like us, Wrestling on the Rocks, to the top of the mountain like Sam Roberts. You will not find a podcast that didn't talk about the excitement of FTR and Young Bucks being paired together and going in all their fantasy bookings of how you make that happen. You'd be hard-pressed to find any idea worse than the way that they did it. They went through and listened to all the great ideas and said, okay, let's do something awful instead. Like, I'll tell you this. My brother brought it up on the last episode, and I know you didn't hear it because you're a jerk, but
Fair.
He said that watching AEW, as much as he enjoyed it last week, he said there definitely doesn't feel different than watching WWE in the regards of an audience for one. He goes, there's definitely segments where you watch that and you can just imagine Tony Khan giggling in the back or saying, that's good shit, pal, in his own way. Whatever he says, we're going to find out someday that there was a Tony Khan, that's good shit, pal. It's going to be something else. I don't know what it's going to be. Probably him just giggling.
I mean, we know he's in Gorilla. We had that confirmed this week. He's in Gorilla.
Yep. He's definitely back there, and he definitely has said that no one will put anything on his TV that he didn't want there, and that no one's going to tell him how to run his TV show but him. So we know that bit. So we know everything's going on there is because Tony Khan wants it and likes it. But that also means that when you see some dumb shit or weird stuff, you just know Tony's giggling, which is also fine. If I spent that much money to own my own promotion and put on the greatest meet and greet I could think of, and just have all my favorites hang around and do my bidding, go do this wrestling match I always wanted to see, and I don't know how to get it together, just go do it, and we won't even book a story around it. Fuck, I would do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spent all the money. Of course, we're gonna put on the show I want to, and if it makes me giggle, I don't care about anybody else.
No, I don't fault him fully. I think but you're right. It's the same argument we make for Vince. It's an audience of one,
Yeah.
and if we're not saying it's Tony Khan as the audience of one, it's that fan, that Uber fan that's loved the Young Bucks and the Elite forever and loves
Yeah.
all the silly shit in indie wrestling, which is fine, but you can't then just um, dismiss things you don't like or ignore things like that. It's the same thing. It's a TV show. It has a
Yeah.
showrunner. It has an executive producer, and a showrunner and an executive producer are the voices of the show.
Yeah, and that makes sense. And so I don't knock Tony too much for that, but I do knock the idea that people are trying to still defend that it's all that different. It's not all that different. It's just a different tone.
Yeah.
It's just a different inside joke. That's all. So I felt like with Young Bucks, it comes off that way a lot. It's their own doing. Tony Khan pays for the Rock and Roll Express to put over his favorite tag team. Although I do think that Tully Blanchard was a shining light in that segment. I thought FTR did great, and I thought Tully was awesome. The way that he was putting it out there, saying, "You guys keep calling yourselves the best tag teams, and neither one of you got the gold." And realistically, I've been saying it since the beginning that the Young Bucks have a losing record for the most part
Yeah.
because they're trying to prove they're willing to put other people over. But all it does is diminish everything they say when they talk about being the best and holding down tag team wrestling. But then you look at their entire AEW catalog and it's a bunch of losses and not getting it done. It just makes them look like they're full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Which
There's a yeah. No, I agree with you. I think we've booked this in an out of order thing, and as time goes on, not only um, does their record in AEW become longer, the past is it's like a backup. It's writing off the old, overwriting the old data. Well, the old stuff that's slowly being eroded is NJPW, Ring of Honor, and we're not fucking talking about it. We're sure as shit not saying, yeah, they were the light heavyweight tag team champions. They were open never open weight champions. They just leave that be so
yeah,
that you have to kind of sit there, and I could see somebody coming in and saying, "Oh, this is cool," and then
yeah,
like, wait, what? Why?
yeah. And then
What
also
have
the
they
weird bit
done?
is listening to the Jacksons talk on the mic. You got to stop giving them a mic. They think they can talk. They really do. And they come off very confident in what they're saying. But they sound awful forced and scripted every
Yes.
time. You put them on a show where you've got FTR talking, you've got MJF talking, you've got Moxley talking, you've got Taz on commentary just cutting promos the whole fucking show. And then you want to give the mic to these fucking goofs? Like, I just don't get it. Like, it makes them look bad when you do that. There's no need. They didn't contribute anything to that segment of any value. They could have easily just been out there shaking their head and nodding and getting their paid for cameo.
I feel
I
like
wish that Rock and Roll Express was just all like, it looks like here it says it's your birthday.
Mhm. No, yeah. For Matt and Nick. Hey guys.
Yeah, for
You know.
Matt and Nick. Yeah. We hear that we're the favorite. Favorites? Yeah. That'd have been good, man.
Congratulations on the hair transplant. Oh.
Oh. Yeah, that's half of that roster apparently, according to Cody. Let's see,
Well, what I
real
was
quick. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. I was gonna say,
Wrap-
I feel like they've gotten the Young Bucks. I like sometimes that confident wink and a nod humor that they throw out, but again, it's become so one note because they're talking so much more here, and they're the face of the company in essence. It's not working. If this in Ring of Honor, when they'd cut silly, funny promos, they'd usually be with another person, and the promos were not these 20-minute things. When they were in NJPW, they weren't talking a lot, or to a crowd that didn't understand them. So it's very different now, and
Right.
it is
So let's
stilted.
talk
It's
about
forced.
this. Coming in with this idea that Young Bucks come off very tongue in cheek, very much we're talking to the smart fans, that whole concept kind of brings me into something I wanted to bring up a little bit. I was thinking about AEW and I was thinking about what they kind of promised they would be in the beginning, and we've been over that before. But one of the things that people always talk about when they want to shit on WWE, which is a popular thing to do, is that they talk about the bad gimmicks of WWE, and they talk about the career era or the occupation era where you had the Goon and Duke the Dumpster and Isaac Yankem the Dentist. Can you tell me now if this was all such shit, an Attitude Era, which was their bringing into the realism of wrestling and going by real names? No longer is he Razor Ramon. This is Scott Hall. And you need to know who he is because he's one of the best wrestlers that we have. Then you bring us AEW, who's supposed to be an alternative to all that goofy shit that's happening in AEW now, they say. Or not AEW now, but WWE now. Can you name me as many cartoonish gimmicks on WWE's product right now that isn't just a cartoonish attitude, but literally a dinosaur that comes out and says, it took 65 million years, ma, but they finally gave a dinosaur a title shot? Or commentary trying to say, well, Chris Statlander's definitely from the Andromeda Galaxy, and being told to shut up by JR.
Yeah.
Or on the indies in general, Dan the Dad is out there. He comes out dressed like a dad. You have Britt Baker DDS, who constantly goes on about being a dentist. You have Orange Cassidy, who's meant to be a sloth who will care eventually. How much more cartoonish can we get and still say that we are the peak of wrestling now? That's a huge regression, if you ask me.
It's fair. I mean, it feels like we got focused on the idea of, you know, the humor, and humor's great, but what do you want to be? And I know that if we look at if you look at a wrestling show, a great rounded wrestling show is comedy, drama. It's a lot of different things. It's athleticism. If you want it to all be comedy, make it all comedy.
And that's what I think
If
AEW is doing. I
Yeah,
think AEW is all comedy. Hold on, producer wants to squeeze in something here.
Oh, no, I was going to actually agree with you guys. I think part of it is also what Clump said, more along the lines of legacy and what type of comedy are you bringing. I mean, there was a period of time where the comedy in WWE actually turned you off to stop watching altogether.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we also got to kind of be mindful of who's your comedy geared towards, because I think that's also something that maybe they are a little off track with.
Yeah, it does come off to me at this point like people who point and make fun of wrestling. People who like to go to wrestling and then watch old shitty wrestling and laugh about it and laugh about how bad they were, and they don't go back to watch Mankind versus Undertaker to see the drama of a deranged psychopath torturing himself in the boiler room, even though it's outlandish and outrageous. You had the tortured Mankind and the whole story with him and Undertaker and Kane being involved. There was a lot of drama in that and a lot of passion in that. But if you go back and you're not watching the JR interview with Mankind, you're watching the Goon and Wildman Mark Marrow and laughing about how stupid wrestling can be. I think you're missing the point of how great wrestling can be. And my fear of what AEW is becoming at this point is a company that points and laughs at wrestling, because it seems to be at this point they have enough cartoonishly, outrageously, completely unbelievable gimmicks. Even look at Jericho. What's he become? He's a comedy act of what he used to be. If we were to make a cartoon Jericho, this is what we get. So when you start making that your main delivery, are you all just here to make fun of wrestling so that way no one tries to take you seriously because maybe you just don't know if you can be serious?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And Well, to me, like, there is great comedy wrestling. Like I love Brian Kendrick's promotion, Wrestle Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
Um, but you also have to consider, what do you want to do? And I feel like they're they're focused on, and it's also just one note of humor, but they're so focused on this weird mix, and I don't like the recipe a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like we could do this significantly differently, and or even just crank it a little bit more, like have a few more serious parts of the show. But like in a show like this, it felt like so much of it was kind of weird, silly things.
Yeah.
Um, and just change that recipe up a little bit, and it'd be neat. And I'm not opposed to Orange Cassidy getting a belt, and us talking about him in that way. But you also have to balance that with having more than just one serious match a night.
I think also these characters need to start becoming less one-dimensional.
Hmm.
I think every single one of their characters is incredibly one-dimensional, and maybe part of that is just how you have to introduce people. Get used to the first dimension of your character before you can introduce other dimensions. But I think we're at a point now where they got to start doing stuff. Dork Chop jumped in the chat. What's up, Dork Chop? He's saying he's late, was caught up playing a flight simulator. I hope you're learning how to fly. And then he says he's ready for Inner Circle to break up. And I'm 100% ready for Inner Circle to break up too. Like I said, I need something to happen on this show that is a little less poking fun. And I know that Dork Chop loves the goofy shit. Give me more of that goofy shit. He says every week, if I were to make a Dork Chop shirt, it would say, give me more of the goofy shit.
Hmm.
But at the same time, if all you're doing is goofy shit, then you're just a company that makes fun of wrestling. And that is going to be a turnoff at some point. You know what I mean? Especially if, like you said, you only have one real serious match of the night. Like, I mean, typically you have a Moxie match, which is taken seriously. But even at this point, Jericho's matches aren't serious. I mean, man, I don't even have much to say about Jericho in this one other than the finish was clearly sloppy and weird.
Yeah.
But also, Jericho's starting to dress like a hobo. He's wearing the same unclean, smelly jacket for months. Like, he just looks like he smells now.
He looks like there's a period of time where I'd say like Vince Neil looks like he's doing a Chris Jericho impression, and now it looks like Chris Jericho is impersonating Vince Neil, and it's not looking good. He doesn't look good in a lot of ways. He looks sweaty, out of shape. He has a weird complexion. He looks dirty.
Yeah, he looks smelly, man.
Yeah, he looks like if you touched him, he'd be sticky.
Yes. Sticky with orange juice, I guess.
Oh, God damn it.
Sorry, just real quick. To that. Oh,
Kevlar's just jumping right in.
Kevlar's jumping in. Well, I see his couch. To that point, just about the comedy and, is the company actually just becoming a mockery of wrestling itself?
Yeah. Which, according to some, it's always been a mockery. But
I mean, that's gonna be apparent to the legends who are there. We already have legendary refs who haven't been respected. We've got, we got legends that that have their own wrestling schools that aren't even being affiliated with AEW school. So, I think this is definitely what you said, gonna catch up.
yeah, I can speak on this, although I don't think it's out there. But we don't have inside knowledge of almost anything, but this is something I do know happened. Dustin Rhodes was offered a position to be a mentor at their training academy down there that QT Marshall runs, and he declined it in lieu of opening up his own wrestling school altogether, which is really kind of something to think about when you consider the idea that after Double or Nothing, he said he was willing to do the other match with his brother, but he really wanted Double or Nothing to be his last match, and he really wanted to get into training and teaching people. If you've been around that company for a year now and you don't want to be a part of their official training school, that kind of says something, On top of that, as a note to that, Lance, every promo with Jake and Lance at this point is becoming worse and worse. And Lance just keeps beating up random people, which is never cool or exciting. I don't know what they're getting across with that. But then he just embarrassed Jake for no reason. Ripped his shirt off, showed that he'd written something on his back. Like, I don't even understand what we're doing with that one. The whole point of putting them together is the legitimacy of Jake. Jake is putting over Lance by being near him, and then you're having him just embarrass him, but you haven't completed the job. Lance isn't over.
Yeah. And that goes to an issue I've struggled with so many of the people they brought in. It's like we're half-assed doing this, and it feels like we're just giving up now. If your people coming in, you build up like this, have no success at the end, then it just seems like petulant bitching. It's like, yeah, I'm done with this. I'm done with you. It'd be real affecting if somebody did that with like a win,
Yeah. Yeah. I just think I hoped more out of it. I just thought this episode was just not quite it. Was there anything else in the episode you wanted to specifically touch on? Because there's only one topic which will lead into one of my topics I wanted to talk about news-wise anyways.
It was really cool to see Mike Chioda come back.
That was so cool to see Mike Chioda. And
I wish it wasn't that match.
I don't mind. He was in the main event. He was in the title match. He was in the main event. That's okay by me. I do think it was really cool that Orange Cassidy had to roll in and break up the count.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really cool to see him in there. I felt like that the wrestlers actually were trying to obey the rules for once. And I thought that was really cool to see. The only other time I can think of that they ever had someone break up the count, a 10 count for the outside, was a Shawn Spears match. I want to say it was Spears and Cody. It was the only other time I've seen that in AEW. And obviously I haven't watched Dark or their tag tournament or Being the Elite because I don't watch all that much YouTube. And this is a national television show, so that's what I watch. But those are the only two times I can remember that happening, and I was really excited to see that happen. But also, I guess officially Mike Chioda has not been offered a contract at this point. He just was brought in. So we'll see where it goes. I'm never against Mike Chioda working. Actually, I have a Mike Chioda t-shirt. Big fan.
Nice.
But yeah, I thought that was awesome. I thought that was incredible to see him. And I thought he did a good job. I think Corderas had mentioned in his Twitter somewhere that someone had mentioned he did a 4 count, and I didn't catch that. So maybe he did a double count on something because of maybe nerves or something. I don't know. I didn't catch that. But nothing else he did seemed egregious to me. I mean, apart from him being distracted by people who weren't involved in the match being up by the entrance and him leaving the ring for that, I thought that was weird. But, I mean, at this point it's AEW, and it's whose rules is it anyways. So... So I ultimately wasn't bothered. I was more excited to see him having a job and working and doing what I know he loves to do than I was concerned about him being in one bad spot of all the other things, because most of the other refs are getting walked all over. I felt like Orange Cassidy thought they might get counted out. And that, to me, was awesome. I wish that Chioda was in the back before the match, and they're like, hey, we're going to go out there and just mess around and just do what you do. And he goes, if you're not back by 10, you're out.
Yeah.
You know what I meing? He's like, yeah, but, we'll just come out or something and check on us. You have to the count of 10 before you're disqualified. Just have him be like...
I don't have a contract, and I'm okay not getting one.
Yeah. You know what I don't need? I don't need you burying my 33-year career, kid. And that dude's from New York. I could also see him strong-arming a motherfucker. See, Chioda has the best 2 count in the business. I've heard that's by Grim Reaper in the chat. Welcome in, Grim Reaper. Cheers.
Cheers.
But I saw a bunch of people talking about Chioda being one of the best false finish guys in the business, and I could definitely see that. Well, I guess there's 2 other things real quick then. I did like MJF's promo. I didn't like him looking like a fool with Moxley coming out of the entrance, but, it wasn't the worst thing. I'm also getting a little tired of all these insider terms all the time. It's becoming a little less tongue-in-cheek and a little less smart mark and starting to become a little pandering, a little patronizing, if you will, That's my thought on that. Here's the other thing. So you guys can probably both speak on this, even though Kevlar hasn't watched it. Matt Hardy announced he will be cleared to wrestle in 10 days at that special event they're putting on. I don't know. Probably just their weekend Dynamite. Their whole Dynamite schedule moving forward the next couple weeks is so confusing, and they've overcomplicated it by saying you're going to get Wednesday night's Dynamite on Thursday, and you'll get part one. You're going to get 1 hour after the NBA Finals on this day, and then you'll get the second part of the Wednesday on a Saturday. Why don't you just say Dynamite's on fucking Saturday this week? I'm a lot less confused. They were trying so hard to save face and say it's our Wednesday night show on a different night of the week. Oh, well, say that there's no Dynamite for 2 weeks and say, hey, guess what? Since there's no Dynamite, we're going to reward you with a Saturday night Stampede or some stupid shit. And just make it less hard to understand. Doing fucking algorithms trying to figure out when to watch Dynamite. Like, I don't...
Or they could just move the channel.
Just move the channel?
Yeah, put it on a different channel.
I do that every week. Yes. Yes. I got him.
You're welcome.
Yeah. But the topic I want to talk about was Matt is pre-cleared for that event to wrestle after that huge gash, which gave him 13 stitches. Door shot. Boo. Unsubscribe. What'd I say? I think that I get a little uncomfortable when someone gets a head wound of that nature and that size, and the next couple days, like a week later, they're like, I'll be cleared in 10 days. Are you cleared now or no? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not cleared now and I shouldn't be here, but then why are you here? And then they're like, oh, they're going to throw him out. Well, was he cleared to be there? Like, this whole gray area. Exactly. This gray area they put on and this always clearing people for the match. I get the impression because Moxley had a major head wound going into a match. Cody hurt himself real bad in that one match and was wrestling on that next Dynamite. Like, these people are getting open wounds and are literally wrestling within the same week, and it makes me a little nervous. I feel like someone's going to get severely injured in a bad way because it feels a lot like their medical clearance is, hey, buddy, how do you feel? You know?
During a pandemic.
And during a pandemic, cutting themselves is already weird. But what do you guys think about that? Them having people who can say the day they'll be cleared a week before they're going to be cleared.
Don't. Good.
Kevlar?
Kevin, you're off.
Yeah.
I just think that they
All right,
normally give them, as soon as it happens, they give them like a timetable, like, hey, you should be cleared in 7 to 10 days or whatever. So I think that's kind of what they're probably banking on and saying, hey, I'll be here for that. But I don't know. It's so rough, especially with the way AEW handled like some of these absent matches that they had that they've been promising for like Fyter Fest and Fight for the Fallen when Moxley couldn't show up. You know, I think it's bad for them to sit there and say, hey, this is going to happen, because if it doesn't, then it makes them look terrible again.
But it wasn't that Moxley couldn't show up. It's he refused to because he didn't feel safe. He was cleared to go be there, but he didn't feel that it would be safe, and they respected that, which is fine to respect someone's personal feeling of whether or not they feel like it's going to be safe or he's in a safe spot to be around someone. But is it equally fine to say, well, if you feel good about it, just come on in? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel like it's as structured as I think that it needs to be, and it could definitely get structured. But just the way that Matt said it, I'm going to be cleared in 10 days. Well, your head was almost ripped off 4 days ago. You know what I mean? That stuff makes me nervous.
Yeah. I mean, also, I don't like this generally because it's part of me is like, yeah, I mean, it's cool that you're continuing the story based on a botch, but
yeah,
I think I'm still frustrated that, like, one, oh, cool, Sammy's back. Why did you do it that way? So I'm annoyed of that. And then we're continuing this, and I don't really think we need to invest more time in this or Sammy. That's just my view of it,
Oh yeah, I'm completely not interested in the Sammy part of it. Sammy, I couldn't be less interested in.
We went over it last week too, so I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, last week we really went in on their weird resurgence of Sammy, and even then, every time on commentary, they're always like, after coming back from a brief stint out, I'm always sitting here watching it, going like, from what? Why was he gone? Tell me where he went. Why was he gone? Yeah, I'm always just. It's just, to me, it's
What'd
funny
he do?
'cause
Oh no!
they want to do that. Now, with that in mind, they want to make a public statement about him having to take sensitivity classes and then come back as the sex god Sammy. Then, with that in mind, AEW quietly released several talents over the week and have made no public announcement of that.
Yes.
And I want to know what you felt about
this.
that, Clump. Because, Clump, you were really vocal about being mad that Zack Ryder was gone, even though he's the action figure guy in AEW. He is the AEW guy with the most elite action figure collection, as they have said over and over again on commentary. How'd you feel about this?
I mean, I want Zack Ryder, like, I just want him working somewhere, because I fucking like Zack Ryder. He does a great job.
He's the coolest dude. If any of you listening now or ever have not heard any interview that Zack Ryder's done or Matt Cardona's done on the Sam Roberts podcast, their chemistry together is hysterical. And you go, oh, I don't know why I'm not sitting in the same room with them drinking beers. Like, this is hysterical. So 100%. Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona comes off as just everybody's friend.
Yeah. No, like, great dude. But to that, and I do want to add something else onto this. So, one thing I've always felt that WWE gets knocked for is how they announce releases. It's something some people look forward to. They're waiting for, the release date, because sometime in the spring after WrestleMania, we hear about releases.
Every year, almost.
Yes. But I'll say this. WWE is a big publicly traded company, and I think it's great that they do announce that. As much as, it might be weird, I think it's appropriate because it's like a sports team. It's announced.
And look, at the end of the day, if nothing else, I mean, it's been very few occasions that they haven't, and there's been a couple, but almost every time they say we wish them the best.
Mm-hmm.
And at least there's that. At least you can say I wish them the best. This was a series of quiet releases where they didn't even wish them the best, and that just felt weird to me.
Well,
what felt wish Brie Priestley the best, like.
And
that
what I was
one
say
pissed
is,
me off. Sorry, that I was really bummed about that one. And one of the other women was surprised. She came out and said, "Yeah, that's oh."
Yeah.
What I was gonna say though is what upset me here with how this was done is not just that you couldn't give a hey, we wish them the best. When WWE has not announced or said, hey, we wish them their best in the event that something very bad happened, and they said this person isn't released, by saying just that, or creating a separation between, hey, we wish them the best in their future endeavors and this person isn't working with us, that's important. And while I truly hope nobody's gonna associate what happened with Jimmy Havoc and what happened with Sadie Gibbs and B. Priestley, they all got released the same day in the same way, and with no announcement there, it leaves a weird taste in my mouth regarding those releases.
It feels weird. You feel like it's all associated in one thing.
Yes. Also, on that, they announced that Excalibur's coming back.
Oh!
And, why couldn't they have done that with Sammy? Why couldn't they have done an announcement regarding Jimmy Havoc? Are you learning? Or, it's just real bad taste, Real bad taste in the mouth.
Yeah, it comes off a little weird. Grim Reaper in the chat says John Laurinaitis t-shirt, future endeavored. If that's a real t-shirt, I like it. If it's not, I'll design it. Yeah, I felt like it was a really weird thing to do, and I felt like I just wish the internet wrestling community was at least tried to be fair and not so see-through at times. Because this happened, and it wasn't the big crying out of, I can't believe it, not during a pandemic. where these people were largely and likely not paid nearly as much as the people who were released from WWE.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, and I'm not saying that like WWE did everything right. I don't know that they did. I just think that both these companies did something similarly, but at least one was public about it, and the other one was quiet, and everyone's going, "Well, it's probably a tough decision." You're like, well, fuck.
I think it's something like we expect more with WWE. We expect it, and we are critical. It's not being a fan, or you aren't a fan if you don't have criticism of the company that you love.
That's
I
a good
think
point.
we're so excited
blindly
about
following it.
Yeah. I think we're so excited that there is an alternative to WWE that in some cases people say, well, we don't have to say anything. We don't have to say anything negative. You can demand more of them. You can expect more, We can be critical of booking like we are with WWE. We can be critical of policy like we are with WWE. And I think in this case, yeah, it's fair to be critical.
100%. It was a little bit. Grimmer said it was a real T-shirt he wore during his matches. I do kind of wish Cardona would wear his "Not There" T-shirt on AEW, just because I thought that one was so funny and well done, and it would be fitting. You know what I mean? It's like, especially because commentary's not done a great job of putting over who Matt Cardona is and why we should care. He just keeps coming out as Cody's friend and action figure collector, Matt Cardona, and you're like, come on. They put over Kyoto better than that. So I do think it'd be funny if he had the "Not There" shirt to kind of almost remind people, like, I am the guy from the other show, but I'm here now. With that in mind, let's go ahead. Well, I guess we'll hit up NXT and then hit the news. There wasn't a lot in NXT I had a lot to say about, but newsworthy-wise, Velveteen Dream made his return. What do you guys feel about that? Triple H did make a comment about it. He didn't just bring someone back and didn't say anything. He said something.
I think it was good that he said something. However, I don't often get to say anything positive about Nia Jax.
Take it while you can.
Oh yeah, no. I think the way that Triple H said it was a little bit He could have said he could have talked about things more, because he just it was this. It was a car accident. And if we're not going to talk about
the other stuff, he did. He said that the accusations came out at the same time he was out for the car accident, and as they investigated it, they didn't find anything of substance. There was nothing there, so that's why they felt comfortable bringing him back. They said, but timing-wise, he was off TV because of the car accident. But during that time he was off, accusations arose, and they investigated them, and found that there was no basis, and or feel comfortable bringing him back. He did outright say that there was allegations investigated.
Okay. I did not see that part. But I did like Nia put like the clowning on it. Like, yeah.
She did? What'd she do?
She put on when they announced it, like they put an Instagram post out, which is what I saw. And Nia Jax under put like a series of clowns as comment.
Jesus, that's cool.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that's cool. I mean, yeah, I do appreciate saying something, because the quiet, I think we need to get past the time of not saying shit for things,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything there or not, but I do feel like with the amount of people they did let go during all of that, I understand the argument of clout, because people are saying that the people who they didn't fire was Matt Riddle and Velveteen Dream, and I'm saying they put a lot of money into those guys. I feel like they've put more money into other people that I don't know that I can hang my hat on that and say definitively they're only there. They definitely did that. It's because of the money. That might be for sure. I have no idea. But I also don't think I have enough reason to say that there's no way they didn't investigate it either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair.
I think that there's just too much negative press that can come out of having that shit around them to begin with. I mean, look what they did with Cass and Enzo. You think they didn't put a ton of money between Cass and Enzo? Those guys were backed all the way.
Yeah, they were at the main event level and then gone.
Yeah, dude, and they were in the match with the Hardys' return. I don't think that was an accident. You had 4 teams in there on purpose, I think.
Yeah.
And the match was booked without the Hardys. So it was a triple threat with the 2 of them in there at WrestleMania for the tag titles. I mean, it's not nothing. It's not the world championship, but it's not nothing. And so I don't think that the company in and of itself looks at how much have we invested versus how much do we want to believe or not believe something. I think they look for a certain amount of evidence one way or the other, and if they find enough of something, they say we just can't do anything with this, or if they find not enough, they say, well, maybe it's great enough. I don't know. I don't know how they're running it, but I don't think that it's fair to say that they're definitely just doing that money stuff.
Yeah.
Let's
Well, I
see. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think it's great that Triple H came out and made the comments he did because everyone's talking about it, so they were just upfront with it, and he said, "Hey, we didn't find anything, from those allegations, so he's back and he's here to perform." And I think that's, I think it's great. Like any other sport where there's any kind of allegations of anything, sexual abuse, PEDs, anything, they release statements on it. So
That's
for
true.
Triple H to say that on Velveteen, I think it's the right move, and I almost wish they would have done the same thing with Riddle.
Yeah, they didn't say enough about Riddle, that's for sure.
I
They
agree
did
with
say,
that
quote,
100%.
we looked into what was there and we didn't find anything. I agree with that 100%. They should have said something more about Riddle, and they just didn't. And at the same flip side, since we were talking about it, the only comment that AEW made about anybody at all was Jimmy Havoc. They've made a comment that they're bringing back Excalibur. I haven't read it, so I don't know if they talk about any of the reasons why he was pulled. I don't know if they're talking about excusing his language and his behaviors before. I don't think it was so far removed to be acceptable, personally. But if they think that it was, I guess that's on them. Fun fact, Jim Cornette talked about never using that word in wrestling angles, even back when it was acceptable. He talked about how it was never acceptable, even in the 60s and 70s when you would hear it in the street. He said, but you wouldn't bring it into a wrestling show, not in an angle. So the only time you ever heard that word in those days was if somebody was fighting someone. He's like, because that's what happens. Is people fight and yell horrible things at each other. But he said never for an angle, and this was not even, maybe 10 years ago? So I don't know if they made much of a comment about that. They definitely made no comment about Justin Roberts for bringing him back. Was there anything else you guys want to say about Velveteen Dream? I never liked him to begin with, so I don't really care either way to see him on TV. I'm not excited about it at all. I do think he wouldn't be on TV if they didn't investigate it. But apart from that, it's just, to me, okay, Velveteen's back in matches I don't want to see.
Yeah, I mean, same. I can get why people like the character. I think part of maybe what I've struggled with is as the allegations were coming up before in the first instances, his character's kind of not the character I'd want to be if I have these type of conversations occurring,
Yeah. Yeah, his character is already a problem.
Yeah.
I will
Well,
say
I'm
about NXT.
I'm surprised. I was just gonna say I'm surprised they wouldn't just rebrand him at that point.
I was actually shocked that he was pretty much the same. He's got a little stupid goatee that he bleached, which is weird looking, but everything else
Ooh,
is the
Dennis
same.
Rodman style.
Yeah. Let's see. The only other things on NXT I thought were of note at all is I'm really enjoying where they're going with Karrion Kross at this point. I liked the fire in the contract. It was theatrical and cool. And the other thing was I'm still excited with where they're going with Pat Buck and Adam Cole. And I thought what I liked about Adam Cole's promo is it was literally everything everybody was saying online. So it's like so easy, man. It's like cheat codes. You go, why didn't they say this? And they should be acting like this. And Adam Cole's like, all right, well, I guess I'll just go say that then. And he just said all those things. Like, okay. Couldn't be more excited for this match. The only match on TakeOver that I have to see is Pat Buck versus Adam Cole because I have to see Pat Buck win. Future Hall of Famer Pat Buck. I'm calling it now. Producer wanted to say something.
I actually really liked Indy Hartwell. I'm kind of excited to see any more of her. What?
Yeah, Indy Hartwell came out and she had a good match with Dakota Kai.
I know she's
I believe.
just barely coming up, but I feel like she's someone to keep an eye on.
Oh yeah, she's gonna be big. I think she's gonna be a huge deal. And we'll get into that topic that you and I talked about during the show, probably on our next show. Oh no, Indy had a match against Mia Yim this week, Dakota Kai last week, and I think Indy Hartwell will be a big deal in a few years. But
they
it was
both
really
look
cool to see her.
strong.
They both look great. Yeah. Although that finishing move, that weird armbar, It makes sense, but I don't usually put people in arm bars, so maybe I'm just not good at it.
I don't usually put people on arm bars.
Yeah. Was there anything else about NXT either of you guys wanted to hit on?
Nope.
I liked the Bronson Reed Damian Priest match, and I like that Bronson Reed's still getting wins.
Yeah, it was great.
I like that it's not Damian Priest versus Killian Dane or what the fuck the one who fucked his tires up.
Cameron
That
Grimes.
one. Yeah, they're like
That guy also looks
interchangeable.
like he smells.
Yeah,
He definitely smells.
Yes.
but he smells like used shoe.
No, he smells like craw.
He smells like the apartment from Bug.
Yeah. GR Lunar bringing up Indy Hartwell was inspired by the Four Horsewomen and Natty to begin wrestling. Same with Dakota Kai and Kylie Ray. So yeah, I think we're gonna see a lot out of her because of that. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of Bronson Reed. I want him to come on the show and have a drink with us and then leave because he doesn't need to stick around for this garbage. But I just think he'd be awesome to hang with.
He just seems like an actual fan. Like I think I saw him post recently that, you know, he watches wrestling like every day. Like he's always going back and watching, just watching to learn from, and I just think that's awesome.
He posted a video of himself jumping off the roof of his house and said, I was a big Dude Love as a fan. And I made the comment and I was like, but they specifically said not to do this at home. And he liked it. But yeah, I actually was really, really happy with that match. I was really happy with the promo they did the week before too. So I think the two of them are really stepping it up a bit. I think it's great.
Oh yeah.
Anything else on NXT?
Nope.
Not really, man.
Yep, not much. I do think this was a better NXT than last week, which I thought was reversed. I thought last week AEW did much better than NXT. This week I thought NXT did much better than AEW. So it was, just interesting. Take it for what it is.
Yeah.
I think that'll bring us to the news. I don't know if Dorkchop's going to duck out of here because we're not talking about AEW now. But we're going to talk about the news real quick. A couple things happened that I want to hit on. I'm not going to start with that one because of the verbiage I just used. They are... A couple things. All right, let's start with this. Because I know GR Lunar's in the chat. He couldn't be happier to find this out. Exciting news for any massive Goldberg fan. He announced he has 2 more years on his contract, and each year is scheduled at least 2 matches. He's got 4 matches left over the next 2 years of Goldberg. What do you guys think about this? GR Lunar cannot wait for this. I think if it was up to Lunar, we would have the first ever World and Universal double champ, and it would be Goldberg. And he would also then become the tag champs. He'd be able to beat both tag champions and hold the tag champs on both brands. He'd be the first person to, at one time, hold 6 or more belts.
Yeah, give him the IC, the US, everything.
Yeah, he would just
24/7.
win them all real quick, and then he would lose them in a battle royal for some fluke. It would protect him, you know. But I know that GR Lunar's been like, he's been kind of like fantasy booking that for a while. Like, how can Goldberg win more titles? What do you guys think about these ones?
Have him win all the belts, and then have it be one of those like at WrestleMania X7 they had the triple threat match where each pin resulted in a different belt being won, and have him like slip on a fucking banana peel or something and be out as people just start like pinning each other for his belts. Like no.
Yeah, or it could be like an elimination chamber where due to some fluke he's eliminated early or something. Yeah.
He tries to bust through the door with his head and then he falls back, and it cuts a long cam to him just laying there like, oh shit. Yeah. As people just keep working around him, occasionally checking on him. Oh shit, he's hurt.
Yeah, Lunar's in the chat. He's saying that he thinks that Goldberg is the guy to take the title off Drew. He doesn't see any reason why he couldn't take out The Fiend another couple times, and that Goldberg should be the type to retire while still champion and relinquish the belt after that. I mean, I can see where he's coming from as he says that in the chat. Grim Reaper also says, and win each match with just a spear and a jackhammer, 30-second matches, and like half a jackhammer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's only given half the jackhammers now. They're not what they were. Yeah,
they're not full.
I think it'd be really cool. Like in all seriousness, because I know we've heard Big E loves Goldberg. Yeah. It would be cool to have them have a match against. Yeah, like that'd be amazing, especially with this like push going on. Have that. I would love to see that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be 100% behind that. Big E said a couple times that his fantasy match, his biggest dream match is him against Goldberg. He just says meat on meat. And he even said, he goes, I'll do the
meat
job.
and pay and bumping meat.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, oh, he can spear me, jackhammer me, be done, 30 seconds, in and out, go home. And I was all like, all right, right on. Like, I've got no problems with that in essence.
It's a very pragmatic view.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, though, is Goldberg clearly is willing to take losses to put over the next person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's see, he lost it to Braun, which, when you think about it, makes sense. Who did he lose the Universal to? Brock Lesnar? Brock Lesnar really needed that at the time. I mean, who was even really heard of him before he got the Universal title at that WrestleMania?
It made him.
Yeah. I mean, without putting over the young guys like that, you know?
Yeah.
But really, though, I mean, I guess 2 years out's too far to fantasy book. But if you had to book 4 matches for him specifically, who do you think would be good to put him up with?
I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing him against Lashley.
Goldberg Lashley could be pretty neat if they did that right. I think actually getting Goldberg Roman wouldn't be the worst thing if they got to there finally, like they wanted to.
Yeah. And Drew, that would be.
I just want the belt off Drew, so yeah, that.
Yeah, I was gonna say anyone to take the belt off of Drew, I'm good with.
Actually, it works for me too. I would say Drew and maybe actually Randy Orton. I don't know if the two of them ever crossed paths, and Orton's been a legend killer. If he's still
what about
doing
Cena?
it 2 years.
If he's
what about
back
Cena?
or
What do you
not.
want? Cena was murdered by the Fiend. You saw that.
What about Cena's corpse?
Ooh, now we're talking.
Dead man Cena.
Oh yeah, just undead Cena just comes out. They paint him a little bit grayer. Like,
So good. There's been a lot more murders in WWE lately. You guys saw the murder of Kairi Sane, right?
Yes.
And that was legit a murder. Bayley
was.
smashed her head against a wall until she just passed out. And then Asuka comes out of the medical room crying. That's just murder. That's what that looks like.
yeah, this is not. There's nothing good here.
Yeah. Let's see real quick. They're talking about bringing back Talking Smack. What do you guys think of that?
I think it's, from what I heard, it'll be on the network, which I think is a good idea. I like Talking Smack. I like the segments on it. I thought it was a cool show. I don't know why. We heard that it had low ratings, and I get that, but it was a bomb show, you know?
I liked it a lot, and if the Raw Talk came back and is doing well, I don't see why Talking Smack wouldn't. I think you have to have the right host. Who do you think host it? I say Renee Young and Sam Roberts.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. I just went this way.
Nailed it.
It's because Under Faker got censored, so I had to see that.
Underfaker?
What got censored?
That guy was censored for you?
Yeah.
Cena as the new Underfaker was... The word under is censored?
Under Faker.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it asked me if I wanted to improve filters for swearing, and if this was appropriate to be censored, and I said yes, because I like how it...
I bet you anything
I don't want to
that
change
starts
this.
with the word under is censored. I bet you if they put underwear in the chat, you won't see it. I believe that.
Somebody quick.
Yeah. Somebody do it.
Nope.
You can see your own messages, dummy. That's not how that works.
I can see balls misspelled.
You always can see your own messages. I can't believe you thought you were going to undo yourself there.
Nope, Fabtina's not censored either.
Really? Underfaker's censored, underwear is not. What do they think you're doing, man? I don't know. I do think it'd be cool if they brought back Talking Smack, though. Let's see. There's a couple more things on the news. One of the things was, did you guys see that Eric Rowan had an interview and he talked about not liking a ton of stuff, and then he talked about his idea for what should be inside the cage instead of a robotic spider?
No.
I did hear this. Yeah, it was not a robotic spider. It was gonna be.
You guys remember
Like, wasn't
American
it-
Horror Story?
Yes, it was gonna be the world's smallest woman.
Yeah, it was going to be the world's
Um,
smallest woman from American Horror Story, Jyoti Amji. He wanted to put her inside of the cage and be the thing that everyone's looking at and screaming at and running away from. This is one of those times where I think it's fair to say
a
that
fantastic
creative
idea.
freedom is not the end-all be-all, and maybe not every wrestler knows what's right all the time.
Now, see, I disagree.
You think this would be the thing?
Oh, freak
I
show
think this would be
vibes.
the
That's what
best
you
thing
want.
ever.
Wow. Wow.
I do think
Put in a
Drew
cage.
killing this, crushing the cage would be a lot.
Well, yeah, that's
It'd be
the other thing, too.
problematic.
They told him from the beginning that whatever was in the cage, a babyface was going to have to kill. And he's like, yeah, it should be the small lady. Like, what?
Yeah.
That was his first idea?
Unless
don't even
it's
know it
Hell
wasn't
in
the
a
small
Cell,
lady.
you
They
can't put
just
anyone
didn't
in a cage.
Show her before they did it.
She's only a couple. She's like a foot. Yeah. Yeah, but I think that...
2020.
Yeah, you can't just be carrying around humans in cages and be like, yeah, no, this is a good call. This could be, G.R. Lunar had said it, this could be the reason why he was ultimately let go. They could say there's no coming back from this. If this is the ideas you're feeding us, we just don't need you.
And you're done.
Yeah. I also totally believe that if you present that idea to Vince McMahon, that it's probably harder to pitch another idea to Vince McMahon. Because if I
Because
hear
he's-
that, whatever you tell me next, I'm a lot less likely to hear.
Because I'm so focused on, I'm calling her agent.
Yeah, how do I make this happen?
Yeah.
I just thought it was
This
crazy.
is-
And with the internet world being so big on the creative freedom of AEW and people can do what they want and they can say what they want and they can run with any idea they're thinking, okay, someone really needs to make sure that not everyone does, though. Like, this is a prime example. And this didn't happen in AEW, obviously. But I just hope someone in AEW read this and was like, Tony?
Stop
Tony,
drilling,
are
we
you-
hit oil.
Yeah. Yeah. This is it. Anything else you guys want to say on that one?
I don't think so. I think that's pretty
As
bad.
tasteless as it gets. Good.
Yeah.
No, it
there's
can
two-
get more tasteless. It's just, it's hard to think of it.
And it will. So there's two other things that happened. One of
God damn
them,
it.
I mean, I don't know how else. I mean, I guess you just talk about it a little bit. You guys read about the Sonya Deville stuff, yeah?
Yeah, that
How
was,
crazy
was
is
pretty
that?
Scary.
Terrifying. And it turns out Mandy Rose was there. This is also one of those examples of like how the internet wrestling world can just have its own head up its own ass. And like, I can't discredit anyone who just doesn't go on Twitter, because I know you guys don't see it much, but there was people when it first happened, the first news broke of it, and they're saying this is why we don't like stan accounts, and this is why people shouldn't be obsessing over their favorites. And I felt like by trying to blur that line between being a passionate and loud fan online versus being a psychopath who's tracking someone down and trying to hurt them, I don't think that line should be blurred. I think that should be pretty clear, that it's probably okay to be vocal and yell goofy shit and say that your favorite is the best of all time and should never lose online. And people who find them and go to their house is not okay, because that's psychotic and not the same thing.
Yeah, mental illness is
Yeah.
a thing.
Yeah, mental illness is a thing, and I think you draw the line in the sand and you don't say that there is a blur there. I think by saying there's a blur there, I think you're doing a disservice to actual problems. You know what I mean? Because now anyone who does fan art, I mean, I did a fan art of Liv today, and I posted it, and it says "Watch me," and I posted it saying "I'm watching," because that's the whole thing. Watch me, and I'm whatever. And so I did it like right back, and then I'm looking at it.
That's her slogan.
And the producer, her slogan is "Watch me." She tweets that almost every day. Watch me. And so it's all like, I did fan art. I'm watching. #fan art. And then you're looking at it and you're all like, well, now I got to put like a fucking asterisk on there and be like, from home. I'm watching from home at my own home.
Yeah, that was me. I was like, wait a minute. What
Yeah.
if this is just about timing? And people are like, oh, here's another crazy.
Yeah. oh, this person drew a picture of her and it says he's watching, so better look at. I don't know where she lives. I don't even know what state, but I feel like I have to defend myself because so many people were out there saying this is what's wrong with fans on the internet. Like, this wasn't a fan.
Yeah.
This was an obsessive lunatic.
Yeah, not all people are actually like that.
Yeah.
Not all fans.
Not fans are like that. And Dorkchop says it's seriously awful shit, fucking terrifying. And it was. And apparently they both saw him, or I think Sonia saw him face to face, saw a knife in his hand, grabbed Mandy, they ran out. On the flip
Wasn't
side
there
of this,
another incident too?
go ahead.
Wasn't there another incident prior as well?
If there was, I don't know about it. I know he got to their property, cut the porch screen out, and then stood in the porch for like 3 or 4 hours and waited till they like seemingly went to bed, and then broke in and the alarm went off. Sonya went down there to turn the alarm off and saw him and was like, oh shit. Said that apparently like saw the knife and then knew that he wasn't there to rob the place because he was just standing there with a knife. And the guy had like fucking zip ties and stuff, and it's terrifying. And I don't think that this isn't a fan. This is someone. This is an obsessive lunatic. This is a crazy person with a mental illness, and that happened to be his target. It could have been any other person on TV. Just happened to be this one.
When we think of like fans being like very interested in people, there is a defined difference. It's not that fuck, I forget his name. The guy that killed Lennon.
Yeah, let's not say his name on the air because the only reason he killed Lennon was he wanted his name to be famous. So we'll go ahead and skip it.
But you get what I mean. But there was a necessitous. The person who was stalking Bjork. It's not that they're fans. It's that there's a problem there.
Yeah,
it's
the
that
person who
something's
shot
wrong.
Reagan was doing that to impress Jodie Foster. Grim Reaper says in the chat, Marsh canceled because of a design. Yeah, right? I was like, oh my God, I'm going to put out this fan art and everyone's going to be like, this is the get him! Like, fuck. I can't draw wrestling anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that there's... Go ahead, Clump.
I will say, of things I've read of it, I've seen more and more stories that say man rather than fan, which is good.
Yes. The stories are being accurate. The internet is not, and I think that's why Twitter is such a fucking mess. And so here's the other part of it. So they said that the police report comes out, and she says she was there with her friend, Mandy Rose. I highly doubt she used the name Mandy Rose, but that's what the article said, and I was like, I'm assured that she must have used the real name, and they deduced it was Mandy Rose. But a lot of people were all like, this is what the problem is with wrestling. They wanted to talk about kayfabe in this. And I get it that I thought it was a little... when they said that it was Mandy and Sonya, I was like, oh, crazy. I guess they must have been working on their match. I was like, I guess that looks a little silly when you see it like that and they're about to go into a big heated rivalry. But you don't think anything more of it. But there was a lot of people being vocal talking about this is the problem with wrestling. No one takes it seriously. They can't even kayfabe and not even sleep in the same house one night. And you're like, are you fucking out of your mind? This is the takeaway?
Mm-hmm.
You know, these people work
insane.
on stuff together. Dorkchop just says Twitter was a mistake.
This
Just
is
full stop. It was a mistake.
Right. This is probably why
Yeah, that's
Dorkchop's
fair.
like not on Twitter.
Yeah.
I think actually you and I are the only ones on Twitter. I don't actually think Kevlar and
We're bad at it.
yeah,
we
we're
are
not
bad at Twitter.
we're not great.
Yo, that drawing too, it got like something like 600 something impressions and something like 50 people looked at it. It's got like 4 likes. I'm not even
By
not
the
even good
FBI.
at, yeah, I'm not even good at just posting a drawing people are going to like.
Yeah,
I'm
people
awful at this.
people follow us and just don't like anything we do.
Yeah.
So I don't get it.
Dorkchop says 100% true. It's toxic as shit, and I don't need that in my life. Here's the one thing I like about Twitter. If you ever met an annoying person in your life, and like, man, I wish I could just click a button and make them disappear forever. You can do that on Twitter. The whole point of social media is catering it to your will. So anytime I see a comment or a theme from somebody that I just think is awful or generally negative or at all offensive, I just go in there and block them, and then they don't exist anymore. And maybe that's my problem is I've blocked so many people, maybe no one can see my stuff anymore. But, and Dorkchop says he sticks to Instagram. I prefer Instagram too. I just don't think you get the same level of interaction that we're trying to get for the show. We're just trying to use it to promote the show, and we're not doing a good job of that either. So,
Nope.
either way, though, so the conversation then became about kayfabe and Mandy and Sonya staying together, and it just seems like I understand having the thought, but I don't understand expelling the thought. Like, why would the thought then move past your brain?
The thought
Kevlar.
is, ooh, that's funny, and then that's it.
Yeah, or the thought is all like, oh my god, what a terrifying thing, and that looks kind of funny when you think about the match coming up. But that's kind of it. That's where you leave it, and you can just leave it in your own head. Kevlar, are you about to say something about it?
No.
Good.
But I can.
Good.
No, it is just crazy that what people take away from things. You know, like them complaining that, hey, you have a job to do. And it's like they're at home, they're, you know, not on the clock, if you will. And, you know, some pervert goes over there and tries to break in their house and kidnap Sonya.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, you guys need to stay away from each other. This is bullshit. It's like, you know, are these the same people that are trying to consistently say that it's still real? You know what I mean? Or
First off,
like,
yes. Secondly, if anybody said that shit about WWE and then goes over there and talks about how much they like Luchasaurus, I'm done. You're blocked. You're muted.
Hey, I like Luchasaurus.
He came out talking about, they're trying to push him as a real dinosaur at this point. I wish they would just,
Oh, really? I haven't. Well,
Yeah.
it's getting weird. But regardless
Never
of
mind.
that, I mean, it's also,
I
yeah,
retract
never
my
mind.
statement.
Throwing away my Luchasaurus shirt right now.
Yeah.
At the same time, though, like, this isn't exactly the same as when Hacksaw and Iron Sheik were pulled over because of speeding and drugs. They wouldn't have, quote, been found out if it weren't for a lunatic trying to kill them. Maybe we can
Yeah.
cut them some slack.
Exactly.
Like,
Plus, we're kind
they were
of
so
at the
sloppy. Were they?
Point, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we're kind of also at the point, if nothing else, like, look, Baron Corbin drunkenly makes fun of people for being mean to faces. And he's cool. There's a difference. It's a TV show. Calm down. We're at the point where we know it's a TV show. This shouldn't have exited your head. Just,
I like to
that's
think he's
funny.
not drunk.
Nothing.
yeah. I like to think he would say it even if he was sober. But
Nah.
I do think, though, that here's where I think the separation needs to be. We are at a point of fans of knowing that it's a show and we can live inside that bubble outside of the show. I think that I'm still not comfortable with the show acknowledging that they're just a show. I didn't tune in to watch Saved by the Bell where Zach Morris says time out and talks to me for a minute. I kind of wanted to buy into it for a minute or two. So I think in my mind, I want the characters to come off as real. I want to believe that during the show. But after the show, I'm willing to accept that if an attempted murder happens and two people who shouldn't be friends happen to be in the same house, I'm probably not going to lose my shit over it.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine. They were probably working on the match. But then on the show, I don't want to see them sitting next to each other in the audience. That's it.
Yeah.
When the cameras are on, be separate. That's all.
Mhm.
Yeah. Shit, I find it, to me, I honestly like when I find out, oh yeah, outside of here they're doing cool things together. That's okay with me, because, you know, it's a difference between on air and off air. It's like actors to me, you know, but when it's, you know, Hall of Fame, they should be dicks to each other, you know?
Yes.
But then again, a guy with a knife isn't in their house.
Yeah, he's not there.
Nobody got upset at the Hall of Fame when somebody came down and fucked up Bret Hart, and it didn't matter heel or face. Everyone ran out to help his ass.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone was helping out Brett because they didn't
Kayfabe
know if
got
he had
broken.
a knife.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. And and Dork Chop says it best. If your first thought in this was that kayfabe, what? If your first thought is kayfabe in this situation, you're a lost cause. And if you saw that and your first idea is, I better tweet about kayfabe, fuck off.
Yeah.
Block, mute, Instagram, Twitter.
Turds.
I don't know how social media works. But if you would like to find our social media to see how sloppy we are, it's at wrestlingontherocks.com. You can find all of our links. Let's see. I mean, I don't know if there's anything else to say about it other than let's not call him a fan and let's not pretend kayfabe's important in this scenario.
Mm-hmm. That's
He's
fair.
a bad guy.
Yep, he's
Plain
a
and
bad
simple.
guy. Yeah, he's a bad guy. He's a heel.
Yeah.
He's the heel in this situation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're supposed to boo the heel.
yeah. Boo, boo. Bad decision. What's the problem? Let's see. The other thing, the last thing I had in news, unless... Oh, wait. There was one other thing in news before we get to this one. Xavier from Ring of Honor. He was active during 2006-2007 area as a champion. I wasn't watching that at the time, but he did pass away at, I believe it was 43 years of age. We just wanted to give a little cheers to him. I've only heard good things about him, and once he passed, I read a lot of really awesome stories about him as a person and as a wrestler. And even Sam Roberts had mentioned that one of the first shows he went to, that guy was wrestling, and he wrestled in front of literally nobody. He said he was 17. He watched him wrestle in front of nobody, and it was an incredible match. So, just sounds like a stand-up guy. He sounds like a good dude. Just tears in our beers and cheers to him.
Cheers.
Let's see. So the other thing we want to talk about is Thunderdome. Right before we talk about that, real quick in the chat, Grim Reaper says they still post videos on Donut Fridays, getting donuts on Instagram. They're best friends in real life. Yeah, they're still doing the shop too. On the shop, you can buy your Sonya stuff or your Mandy stuff, and it was like pick a side and clever marketing, really fun. But clearly they're in on it together. So, and they've been talking about it for a long time. They wanted to do a story together because they thought they could really pull the most out of their friends, which is not uncommon. So.
Yeah.
So lastly in the news before we get into SmackDown is the WWE Thunderdome.
Dun dun dun.
What do you guys think of Thunderdome?
I'm interested a bit. I want to see how it plays out.
How are you guys shitting on this clump? Your dick. You didn't even, how do you hate it already? Fans are going to be able to watch and be on LED screens. What's the problem?
Hey, that was not a. This is complex. Fuck you.
Oh, that was one of the. You know what it was for me when I first heard it. I went, ugh.
Yeah, that
My
was,
first thought was, ugh.
that was a deflation.
How much money am I going to be spending on this? I am clearly buying into this.
Oh, you're gonna put your ass in the front row. You're finally gonna beat that guy in the green shirt.
Oh, yeah. First off, if Lisa, the sign lady, and green shirt guy Smiley, if they don't have front row seats, then they're not even trying, right? Brock Lesnar guy should be able to get to every other show because he doesn't make them all. Dark Chop says in the
jersey.
Yeah, the dude in the Mets jersey, the Ghoul, he comes and goes, so he should be at the big four. Let's see. Dork Chop says Thunderdome. It's goofy, so you know I fuck with it, and that's what I'm saying.
God damn it.
This looks dope though. So they had a first look video, and it looks like they were building a dome-shaped scaffolding. I think it's going to be actually a dome of crowd around them, much like the intro to SmackDown looks. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen.
Okay.
It's going to be
See,
fucking cool.
It like I just heard Thunderdome. I didn't hear like the whole premise of it, but like fans being on LEDs, you know, they do that in the NBA right now, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because they have like on the sides they have like, you know, seat looking things, and then they just put fans, and they're sitting there interacting and stuff like that. And then like there was a Suns game, and Shaq popped in on one of them, and he was sitting there, you know, just being goofy Shaq, and I think it's gonna be cool.
That's funny.
I mean, it's. I admire the effort. I admire the thought. I think the name was like the name was the most
that
hard.
was hysterical.
Like, oh god damn it! Do better than that, champ.
As soon as I heard Thunderdome, I started laughing and said, "Fuck yeah, get it, go all in." You see, like they're building a dome of fans, and Triple H walks out there and he's like, "Welcome to the Thunderdome," and someone's like, "Dude, that's what we should call it," and they're like, "Yeah." Like,
Just
you
have
know,
him come out
I
and
hope-
have it be all haggard in like dirt floor and blood,
That
and
would
you're
be-
fighting for guzzling.
Mad Max style.
Mad Max. So here's what we got real quick. Here's a quote from Kevin Dunn talking about the Thunderdome. He says it will not have a flat video wall like the NBA. Instead, the arena will have 1,000 LED boards with rows and rows of fans to simulate the WWE experience. Then he was quoted saying this: "We're flying drones in the arena. We are putting a roof inside the Amway Center, and we will be able to project content onto the roof." He added, "So when a big star like Drew McIntyre comes down to the ring, the whole arena will turn into his content, with lasers, pyro, smoke projections on the top of the building and on the floor. It will be big, beautiful entrance, better than WrestleMania."
Did you have to say Drew McIntyre?
He said Drew McIntyre, dude. Why is
that ruined it for me? It's like, oh. And
yeah,
also,
you know what they should have
He's a
said?
champ.
You know exactly who they should have said.
John Cena.
When a big star like Goldberg comes
Yeah.
down to the ring.
When I think of Drew McIntyre too, his entrance isn't exactly something I think of as a highlight. It's a black screen with McIntyre appearing in white text and bagpipes.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? They should put shitty clip art bagpipes everywhere.
Ooh, that'd be good. That'd be better. You know what? Every time I hear Drew McIntyre's music, I always just, oh, God.
Think of a dead public servant.
But
I
what are you going to say, Kevlar, about Thunderdome?
not about Thunderdome. I was gonna say about Drew McIntyre that I hate that they keep showing his skull logo. With
The Brock
sword.
Lesnar skull? It's the
Yeah.
same thing they did with Seth Rollins when he beat Brock Lesnar and he was the
Yeah,
Beast
but
Slayer. I hated
but
it then,
it's
too.
over, like, yeah, it's done. Like, but Seth went on and embraced the Beast Slayer role.
Yeah.
You know, Kingslayer, all of it. You know, Drew did it. Cool, you did it. Show it a couple times. That's fine. But now, you know, how long ago was that? And we're still talking about it. Or
Yeah,
they're
I
still
think we'll-
showing it.
They're still showing it, yeah. And he's got that stupid shirt that says Big Daddy Claymore. Not a fan. However, Thunderdome, they have not announced a price. But now so far they've only announced that this coming up SmackDown, SummerSlam, and Raw are going to have it. So NXT TakeOver's not. And they're doing this all in the Amway Center. I don't know if they're going to be staying in the Amway Center for how long or not. It does sound like they're going to be moving away from the Performance Center for a while. I think if they can stay in Amway Center, that'd be awesome. But if it is the only 3 shows, what do you think about them doing this sporadically versus all the time? Or is it just too soon to say without seeing it?
I think it should be held to special events and stuff like that, and you know, not just every week or every weekly show doing it.
What if they did a variation for the weekly shows, but for like the big 4, they did the Thunderdome? But then again, I guess how long do we think we're going to be dealing with it? A year, 2 years?
That's the thing, yeah. Like, I could see this being really cool for a bit. And I'm not necessarily opposed to them doing it
Hold on, fellas.
more than less often, but we don't know how long this will be. We don't know when will this end. So
We have no idea. I do think it'd be cool if they made a package out of it, right? So it's SummerSlam. They can't do their big package, their travel plan things. What if they did like a Thunderdome package where you got a T-shirt? Maybe you don't get a chair, but I do think it'd be really fucking dope if they gave you a chair or something that was like video cam related that said Thunderdome. But you know, if they had a Thunderdome shirt that the only people who were able to get into Thunderdome were sent, and on the back of it it still says I wasn't there, like I think that would be funny. That'd be cool. If they did something like that and maybe do a digital meet and greet. You get like a 1-minute FaceTime with a superstar or something along with it, and maybe they send you a signed 8x10 with it, or what if they did something even crazier? Like, here's a list of all of the products of that person. So like for Royal Rumble, we got to pick Bayley and Sasha. So they give you a link to the Bayley and Sasha merch and said you can pick anything here to have signed, and we'll have it signed. If you want this level of stuff, you'd need to pay this much, and then they'll have it signed and shipped to you. Like, make a whole deal out of it. You get like a 1-minute FaceTime, they'll send you a signed thing, and you get like a T-shirt, and you're in the Thunderdome. Because I think they're only going to have 1,000 seats or so. It doesn't seem impossible to do if you're only going to do it for 1 or 2 nights, 3 nights.
You know, what'd be cool too with that is that whatever, if they can capture, you know, your LED with the star next to it and have them sign that as the 8x10.
Oh, that'd be cool. Like they're standing next to your LED board.
Kind of, yeah. Like whatever,
Yeah.
like, you know, oh, there's me, and then there's, you know, let's say Sasha Banks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that'd be good. Or even if they did the video call where you can see both people, if you guys both did a pose or something and they printed that out and signed it and sent it to you. Like I think there's a bunch of little things they could do to make it seem like an incredible value. But at the same time, we don't know if it's going to cost anything at all or how much it will cost. Baseball's charging $150 to put your cardboard cutout in there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You could get it signed by any, like you get a signature from any figure in WWE's like alumni roster. In which case, like you could insist on the president sending you something signed.
No, it's not how those things work, man. They give you a list of people typically. They say these are the people you get.
I want Yokozuna to sign this.
You know, I almost met him, right?
How?
I lived in Vegas when he had a wrestling school out there.
I thought you were gonna say I almost died.
No, when he was out in Vegas, he ran a wrestling school, and I'd gotten together all my magazines that had Yokozuna on it, and I'd found like the right one, and I was like, take me to the school, I want to meet Yoko. And we'd finally agreed on a day that she would take me, and literally the weekend before he died.
Your mom.
My mom. My mom did not die. Yokozuna died.
Yeah, I was gonna
You
say.
said she without saying your mom.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, my mom
Wow.
and I agreed, and then Yoko died, and my mom did not die. But if I had to pick... I'm just kidding.
Did she still drive your ass out there?
No! No, I looked at her and I said, if it weren't for you... No.
It's all your fault.
I know it'll cheer him up. And then, where are we going? We're going to that guy's school. He died. I told you 6 times.
Yeah, stop!
That's what happens when you keep throwing toothpicks in her eye.
I did throw toothpicks in her eye because of Scott Hall. Sometimes while she was driving. If I had toothpick and she was driving or something, I would just be like, you know what? Boom. I got real good at it.
Hey yo.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey, yo. Let's stop for some chow mein. It's just me saying I want Panda Express.
What? Alexa Bliss
I
used to
remember-
tell her. Didn't Alexa Bliss tell her mom suck it?
Alexa Bliss told her mom to suck it, and what was the other one we heard recently? Hammerstone asked his mom why they never have poontang pie. So I think in the scheme of things, I'm not in a bad spot. Like, I didn't do the worst things.
No, your mom's driving and you throw toothpicks in her eye.
Because I was a bad guy, man.
That's a lot better than telling your mom to suck it.
Or asking her for some poontang pie. I mean, I'm telling you, a toothpick in the eye is not a big deal. We were rarely even near the train tracks. Yeah, let's get some chow mein. Some orange chicken. Hey, yo.
Anyway.
You know what I want, but you don't know where I get it. Panda Express. I think that was all I had for the news. Do you guys think, what would be the price for you to be willing to pay for Thunderdome? Let's say it comes with nothing else. You just get the stream and you get to be on the LED board and you're just there. What would be your lowest bottom dollar to be willing
Lowest
to
or
afford?
highest?
Lowest. What's the... Well, I guess lowest, right? I want it free. What's the highest you would pay
50
for...
cents.
Yeah. What's the highest you would pay to get on that LED board if that's the only thing you get?
Oh, to be on the LED board?
Yeah.
That's it? I don't know.
Is there a dress code?
It's hard to say, right? I feel like that too, though. The same thing where I'm going like, I don't know, I pay this much. Well, I don't know. I feel like until they put down a price, I'm not going to be able to look at it and say, I'm doing it. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't know. But I think that I probably will. I think.
Yeah,
at some
no,
point,
we think you probably will too. We are fairly assured you probably will. We are
such a piece
already
of shit.
planning. Yeah,
You're
I'm
such a
already
piece
telling
of
people,
shit.
this is gonna happen. I guess you get to look at.
Can we
Oh,
bring-
dude, I got the sign still. I still got the sign from Royal Rumble.
I was
Like
gonna
if-
say buy 2 and then can I just put an emoji up?
Yeah, that's my other one. I'm sitting next to them emoji. What do you want from me?
Oh God.
Shocked Matt Brown all show long. Anyways, I'm excited. I want to see it. I don't know. I feel like somewhere around the $100 mark seems fine to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I feel like if it comes with stuff, I'll sell more stock.
You know that's splitting 4-1.
What do you mean?
I'll
Oh,
talk
that
to you
stock?
after.
That
Yeah.
stock, I don't have it anymore. That stock, I got rid of it. Yeah, welcome
You
to the
could've
Blunder Dome.
You could have gone to 4 Royal Rumbles.
I'll keep going.
Could have gone to full Royal Rumbles.
Yeah. You know what's funny too, because when I sold it, it was the highest it was for a long time, and it never got near that again for almost a year and a half. And then
The
a
way
year and a
you
half.
phrased that.
Well, yeah, no, a year and a half later, it finally got close to it, and then skyrocketed above it. And I was like, wow, that's really the long game on that one. Like,
It never got anywhere near that, and then it was good for you don't say that then a year and a half. That's not a really long.
it's a pretty
But-
long time to watch your money go away.
But hey, you did something amazing that I think was awesome. Yeah, I would have done it,
Oh yeah.
Oh,
dude. I was
I
like
I think about it so much. I think about it more often than I think people would even think. I think people think about it. Think I think about it a lot, and I think that I find myself standing in the room looking at the Royal Rumble wall that I've put together, just staring at it, thinking like, God damn, I can't believe that happened.
yeah, that's worth it.
Yeah, definitely worth it to me. I think that brings us to the end of the news. I think I'm happy to jump into the Thunderdome. I can't wait, and I think that we can hit up SmackDown real quick. If there was there a I thought this SmackDown was pretty good actually. I thought Retribution looked great this episode, where on Raw they looked just stupid. I thought
Yeah.
Retribution came back looking strong. They attacked GR Lunar's girl, Kayla. I thought that was shitty. Leave Kayla alone. Asuka winning the Battle Royal, I thought it was very interesting. Do you guys have anything written down as highs and lows versus that?
I
I had that on my low.
Your low, let's talk about that. Your low was Asuka winning the Battle Royal?
Yeah.
Explain that. I'll tell you my side of it because it's pretty short. I don't know that I liked it, but I thought it's very interesting to see how it's going to play out with her having 2 matches at SummerSlam. I'm interested to see how it plays out. I really wished it was going to be someone else who we haven't seen have a title shot. 100% wish it was someone else. But if it was going to be someone who's already had a title shot, it's interesting to see someone have 2 title shots in one night. I'm interested in that concept. So tell me about why it was your bottom.
Well, it was the same reason as what was the AEW when they did Fyter Fest, and the Young Bucks had 2 match on it. I was like, hey, it's that they have 2 matches on it. And I just don't like that concept. I think Asuka, she's a great talent, but, I think a Shayna or a Naomi or, somebody else having that shot would be better.
I think 100%. I really wanted Tegan Knox or who was my other one that I kept saying? Liv Morgan. The one that's going to get me canceled for doing fan art.
yeah.
Yeah. The one I've been watching, Foolish Me. That's all she told me. No.
The more you talk about this, the worse it sounds.
It's getting worse. I don't know. I can't stop it. From your house. I'm watching from my house. I watch on TV.
That you have to do that.
I'm
watching
supposed to.
wearing someone's skin.
You're not allowed to buy zip ties anymore.
Can I bounce
No.
out for 30 seconds?
You want to do what for 30 seconds?
I'm gonna bounce out for 30
Oh, you're going
seconds
to bounce out. They said
Bounce
pass
out.
out. Holy shit.
That's out.
Yeah, I was like, oh, there was a lot of stuff. So yeah, you go. So your thing is that you don't like someone having 2 matches in one night when you like somebody else. I really wanted Tegan Knox or Liv Morgan. I thought that either one of them would have been fantastic to see with Bayley, especially considering that Bayley's been helping these women put on matches, I think, outside of what we typically see them do. So I think they've been elevated by both Sasha and Bayley, to be honest. So I was really excited at the idea of either one of those matchups. But it being Asuka really leads me to believe we're going to see a huge shift in story come SummerSlam. What do you think?
No, I do big. I think the same thing. Like, I think this, once again, I think it's going to lead to Sasha and Bayley at Survivor Series, which, I'm fine with. I want to see it. It's going to be a great match.
But
But
Asuka would have to lose both matches for us to get to that now. Do you think that Asuka is going to take away the title from one or both, and in that create that rift? Because we saw in this last SmackDown, Bayley had made mention of having to defend her title and said, well, I'll finally have something worth fighting for this time.
yeah.
Because last time it was just because of Sasha, and Sasha gave that look like, the fuck you just say?
Yeah. What the
Yeah.
hell?
Yeah. The fuck was that? Bayley says that, and you just hear Sasha's behind her just being like, I can hear you.
Yeah.
But
like,
with that
don't
in
get me wrong,
mind, I think that the split. Remember, I kept saying that the split was going to happen with the tag titles and not the singles titles, and that would be secondary. It looks like it's going to go the other way. They'll probably lose their singles titles, and then it'll be a tag title split. What do you think?
But see, I don't think they can lose the titles and then have them face off at Survivor Series unless it's just a match. I think champion versus champion makes it interesting.
Exactly, but I think that their match is going to be pushed back. I think the Sasha Bayley is not going to happen at Survivor Series. I think that we're going to see something more Royal Rumble or Mania. But I think that the rift happens here. Well, that's just it. Is you're either going to see the rift happen here, or you're going to see the re-strengthening. Because the Sasha Bayley kinds of like, it's like growing and shrinking kind of a deal. Like the way like their separation gets bigger, and then they get closer together. Bayley says something shitty like, you're not worth fighting for on accident. But then she helps her win that title, or they have a defense together and they get each other out of a mess. You know what I mean? Like, there's this whole like accordion like back and forth. And I think if they win their singles matches there, that you could potentially create that closer together concept again. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't know. Do you put Asuka in 2 matches to lose back to back? I don't think you do. But also, we kept saying we thought Asuka was going to be involved backstage with whoever Bayley would go up against, to have Bayley have to pick a side between winning her championship and defending her friend, and that she would probably defend her championship, and that would create the rift there. That can't be if Asuka's in both matches.
Yeah. Well, see, I'm thinking, like you said, make the bond stronger. I think, when was it? Was it SmackDown or was it Raw when they started saying SummerSlam, expect anything or whatever, or you're not going to see it coming?
Yeah, you'll never see it coming, or
Yeah. And I was like, I don't understand why they started using that moniker. And then I was thinking that, like Asuka gets hurt in the first match.
Ooh.
And then the other one's like, oh, thanks, thanks, I appreciate that. Now I don't have to face her. And then, no, you're still having a title match, but it's against, and you can even have somebody return right now. You can have, and this is just, me spewing off about nonsense, but
You'll never see it coming.
yeah, exactly. Like the whole Ronda thing that people speculated. I'm just using her as an example, but
Oh yeah.
how big would that be? Asuka gets hurt. Well, she can't fight, Bayley in the second match, but here's Ronda.
Yeah, well, I think that, because each one of these has had a particular theme that's been prevalent in their main event style stuff. So we had the horror show with the eye gouge match and the swamp match. We had...
Well, I was thinking it was with Braun and Bray, the whole you'll never see it coming thing.
I think Braun and Bray, and I think Randy Orton.
Randy, yeah, the RKO.
I think those are the things you'll never see it coming. I don't think the other matches are pertaining to that. I just don't. It could be. If Bailey puts on another ref shirt, I'm do everything I fucking can to get that ref shirt. I've tweeted at Eddie to get the one from Extreme Rules. It's not happening. It's bullshit, man. It's bullshit. If he wanted my shirt, I'd give it to him. You know, like it's not fair.
Offer a trade.
Yeah, oh, that's what I should. Yeah, I'll trade him, dude. I got one. If you need one, mine comes with a stain too.
Yeah.
My stained belly shirt for your stained shirt.
I'll draw you some fan art if I can get that shirt.
I'll be watching.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I can't watch anymore. Not from the closet.
Oh my god.
What? What? I'm at home.
Someone's gonna clip that.
Yeah, they're like, here's the son of a bitch. Canceled.
Evidence Exhibit A.
Sam Roberts is gonna go on and put up start one of his episodes with like, I didn't know, I couldn't have known, I would have never used his name had I ever known.
I was never affiliated with that.
Yeah. Pull down the shirts I've designed for him right off of his pro wrestling tees.
I'm cool with it as long as I get to be interviewed in like whatever true crime show they do about you.
Yeah.
Oh, I would tell them to. I beg, talk to Clump. He'll
Yeah.
give you a good perspective.
He'll tell you
I
everything.
knew him long ago. He was a normal boy, and then things changed.
He'll tell
He
you.
just
how
starts
mean
with
I am.
Clump being like, obviously, and then just cuts away.
We need to move on.
I saw it coming. No one listened to me.
Unlike SummerSlam, I saw it coming.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you, Clump, like Asuka winning, and are you interested in her having 2 matches at SummerSlam?
Yeah, I actually really liked it. Like,
I'm interested.
I think I think it's really cool. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of the 2 belts thing happening over and over again, but
Yeah.
I like Asuka that much. I'm like, yeah, I could see Asuka having 2 belts.
I think the
then-
best thing for business is that Bailey never loses again, ever.
Until she
We know
retires.
this.
Hashtag unbiased.
7-year champ.
Yeah. She should be the next Bruno San Martino.
Hashtag
Bailey
Karen
San
Bell.
Martino.
The other thing I was gonna ask real quick,
Go ahead.
and the is Payback literally the next week after
Yes.
SummerSlam? Okay.
Fuck.
Yep.
That's what I thought I heard, but
It's this Sunday, and then the following Sunday is Payback. Hell yeah.
It's a lot of wrestles.
Dude, fuck you, dude.
It's a
You know
lot
who's
of
not-
wrestles.
You know who's not putting on any pay-per-views? Get out of here with that. He's got 2 in a month. 3 in a month. We got TakeOver as well. How many you get from your fucking boys? Whatever, man. Shut up. I
Did we
hate
just
you.
spend the first hour of this podcast with me shitting on them too?
I mean, that's true. You did a solid on that one.
Don't get me aggravated. My voice gets weird.
And you did a solid on that one, and then you did a solid later. So,
Tell you about a solid I just did.
Clump,
Oh.
did you have another top or bottom for SmackDown?
I have both from the same thing.
Okay.
I've always said I'm a huge fan of Big E, and I'm a huge fan of Big E getting the focus, getting the spotlight, getting the push.
Yeah.
And I love the follow through. I fucking hated what they did this week.
Was Retribution?
He needed something. When you have a match and you keep pulling to outside of the ring for shit going on backstage, the match becomes less important. You're part of the segment, but what's happening in the ring is less important than the stuff in back.
Yeah.
There were other points of the show that could have been done where we're focusing out of the ring for Retribution. And I thought it was totally unnecessary, and I thought it pulled away from an awesome moment. And it's not that Big E can't go. The match was looking good. Big E and I thought Morrison was doing good. I thought they worked okay together. I just really hated not just Retribution, but Otis coming out. All these different parts to it that were just unnecessary, and it felt like, why do we keep pulling away from something I really like? Pulling away from the ring. Why do we keep pulling away from the build of this moment? And I just didn't like that. So that was a bottom for me. You know, I I,
Yeah,
I think
I'll give you this though. Do you think Big E versus Morrison is going to propel either one of them into a different stratosphere?
no, I don't think so. But I think having the focus be pulled so far away in the middle of their match, I'm not saying it's gonna pull away because they're both, you know, Biggie can
They're,
overcome that, but I don't like that. I think that
I think
it's flat.
so. We'll go. We'll flip and come right back. People were pissed that a segment was interrupted with Mickey James and Natty because they said it completely overshadowed that segment, and I'm sure it's got to be on one of your guys' bottoms, right? No, no one
Yes.
cared. Dicks. Um, Kevlar's just like jotting down a piece of notepad. Yes, it is.
Yes.
But the internet was shitting all over it because they said that it was disrespectful to the women and that it shouldn't be happening during a women's match, and that they didn't think that it was fair to Mickey James and all that. All right, I get all that. However, when do you do it and when does it work? I think that as far as that goes, we can talk about it if we get there, if either of you said it. But as far as with Big E and Morrison goes, both of them have big enough personalities that an interruption into their match already has eyes. People are watching that match. And then it's interrupted and people are watching that going, what's happening? And I think Retribution's going to be a big storyline. And I think that we're seeing it be more and more. I don't think it was a dumb place to go, especially since they brought back and went to the match. You know what I mean? They did the match. And the match, like I said, isn't going to propel anybody. It was more or less a scrimmage just to show Big E on his own for a second match. This match largely will not matter, but Retribution will, and having people's focus will. You know what I mean?
But it couldn't have happened during Sheamus and Shorty G.
I think the eyes are on Big E. And I
Well,
think if it happened during Shorty G and Sheamus, you might lose people to a pee break. It's a shitty thing to say, but...
Well, P-Break or Hulu cutting it out.
Or Hulu just cutting it out.
Because Sheamus and Shorty G, they would be like, all right, cut it, seen it, we don't need to.
Yeah, does not happening. I mean, to be honest, someone in the wrestling chat that I'm in brought up that they're really happy that Seth interrupted Mickey James' match because they said otherwise that match definitely would have made the Hulu cut, but because Seth came out, the whole match was in Hulu. I remember the whole reason we decided not to get Hulu, or we decided to move away from Hulu, was because they cut out all the women's division and all the tag division and left everything else.
Yeah, I could see that. My first complaint was, oh, well, they cut this out. Why couldn't they have done that on like a really silly match? But yeah, I guess when I think about it, there wasn't a lot of build for this match. I mean, of course, we love seeing Mickey James back, and I'm a really big Natty fan, but I guess it just felt really awkward, and people aren't used to interruptions like this. Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Maybe it's just that we've been getting so many full matches, and the only real interruptions have been 24/7 and ninjas, you know. So maybe it's that.
all the important stuff.
Yeah, the good stuff. I do agree that with Big E getting his singles push, and I do think that I don't even know if I can call it a push yet. To be honest, they said 6 weeks. What do we really think is going to happen with Big E in 6 weeks? They've already painted it out to be less than. And Big E's coming out being goofy. He's being really silly, and it's hard to take him seriously. And you like him, he's entertaining, but do you take him seriously? Yeah, at times in the ring you will, but at times you won't. I don't know. I'm not saying that that's bad necessarily, but it definitely makes me wonder, like, how far are you willing to go with his character? And is it just an interesting way to interlude back to New Day? Because that's really what it feels like to me. It feels like they're just waiting for New Day, and
I don't think he could do more than that, and I think that does upset me. I want to see more depth come out of this push. I mean, yeah, I love Big E, silly or not. You know?
Yeah,
But there's
no,
not a
I
push
love him.
right now.
But he's what?
I said there's not a push right now. It's just
I
him
don't-
being singles, or it's not even him being singles right now. It's him being half of or a third of a group right now.
It's a
Because-
temporary singles.
Yeah, because my biggest thing is he's still coming out to the same music, the same intro, the same everything as New Day, and I think he needs to come out at it as his own thing. You can still do the, hey everybody at home, beginning, but don't have the New Day logo plastered everywhere. Have it, he needs his own logo. He needs his own identity, basically.
I think it's what it is. He doesn't feel like he has an own identity. I'm having a stroke, dude.
Yes.
Ugh. It's that 6 year, dude.
You need to go back to the Jameson.
Yeah, I gotta go back to that Jameson. It's easier to just take down a whole bottle and not notice. Or
Still
that
be able
Crown.
to talk.
I can remember that Crown where we open it up and then by the end of the show we're like, did we just run out?
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there like, fuck, that happened.
yeah. You're just sitting there choking down ginger ale you didn't want to drink like an idiot. You just told us.
Ginger
I
beer.
feel like I need to keep up with liquid.
Yeah. I do think that it doesn't feel like a singles push. It feels like a singles run for a tag team guy. So I agree with all that stuff. However, I do think that Retribution is coming off incredibly compelling and interesting. And I think that if you interrupt a match that people are going to watch, then you get eyes on an important movement of story where if you put it in during a popcorn match, you're going to miss people seeing an important part of a story.
It's not going to hit as hard.
Yeah. It won't seem as big as a deal. You're like, oh, they come out for the 24/7 match, but they don't come out for Big E. What, are they scared of Big E? And maybe. But now it's all like, hey, they're coming out for Big E and John Morrison. They don't give a fuck. You go, oh, shit.
Maybe
So I don't disagree with you, Clump. I think that's the other aspect of it.
Yeah, no, I get you. That's fair.
No, I want him to have a push. I was almost hoping when AJ started saying something, about there's no one else on this board, this and that. Big E, hey, you've never faced me.
Yeah.
I wanted that, yeah.
I don't know why they haven't made it yet.
Hardy.
Are you guys clamoring for an AJ Piss shirt like I am? It was
Yes.
the phenomenal intercontinental statistics systems, which was also, just as a side note, what a horrible segment to put AJ in when he has a hard time saying the word statistics.
I have a hard time saying it too.
I know, so don't fucking make that the theme of your whole fucking promo. He just kept going out there with statistics, and I was like, damn it, AJ.
He's also
Poor guy.
having a stroke.
I know.
Back
But it
there
was
is Vince
cool.
laughing like Tony Khan.
Yeah.
He can't say statistics. That fuck.
Well, it's like the whole Pat Patterson shit. The reason that the Intercontinental title was held, the tournament was held in Rio de Janeiro, fakely. It actually never happened. He just showed up with the IC belt one day and they said he won it in Rio de Janeiro. They picked that city because he couldn't pronounce it. They just wanted to hear him try and say it every week.
Motherfuckers.
Same shit.
Rio. Good job, Pat.
See, that's the goofy wrestling shit that I love.
Yeah.
People like side-ass fucking picking on each other.
Did you guys like
what?
seeing Abyss come out?
I thought that was fun.
Yeah.
It was
I thought
really
it
nice
cool.
to see Abyss with AJ and then have a segment there with Jeff Hardy.
Oh, that was
cool to see.
Abyss?
Yeah.
That's Abyss.
I didn't know.
Joseph Parks.
Yeah.
I was sitting there and I was like, some goob.
Did you watch TNA more than either one of us did?
Yes, I did, but I didn't remember.
Don't you remember when he came out as Joseph Parks for a little bit rather than Abyss?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was weird and stupid, but yeah.
I also do agree that I think Kevlar watched the most TNA of all of us. I've only seen clips of horrible instances. I've never sat down to watch the good stuff. So
Watch
I've
that
seen
Jeff
awful
Hardy match that went
botches. Yeah, I've seen the Jeff Hardy match probably a dozen times.
Yeah.
And I'm all like, oh, dream match, here we go. And every time I'm like, oh, man, Bischoff ruined it.
I watched Brooke Hogan and Hulk Hogan overact.
Brother.
Yeah.
Win.
I keep
And
finding
Dixie
like
Cardi,
so there's
you're kidding?
there's a Brooke Hogan trading card that I keep seeing online for like $30, and I keep going like maybe because it's like signed. But I'm also like, there's a good chance we've seen the peak of her entire career in every industry.
Yes.
You need a Brooke Hogan CD.
I got the Ricky Gervais CD, the David Brent. Prelude on the free. If, by the way, anyone listening on the podcast or watching on Twitch, I am the David Brent of podcasts. And that is evident if you watch the Life on the Road movie starring David Brent. Let's see. Okay, so what?
Your head's not that round.
That's Carl Pilkington you're thinking of, you twat.
That fits more.
I was just gonna say there's another thing in my top that I enjoyed. And
Go ahead.
Enjoyed Kalisto coming back.
Kalisto being back, I thought you were going to enjoy. I kind of didn't care. I thought it was not. I mean, I don't like seeing guys injured, so I was happy he was healthy enough to be back. But it was also like, okay. But I know how much you like him.
Yeah, I like Kalisto.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I liked his U.S. title run. It was great. Almost like Mysterio, like underdog type of thing. And then all of a sudden they just put him in fucking Lucha House Party.
Matches?
Yeah, well, that, yeah.
I mean, when you see them
Which, to
come
be
out,
honest-
they get over as hell. It's just we don't
people
see
love
them
them.
do much but stupid, silly shit. Like, let them do things.
It's true. They do goofy shit. I've been to a number of shows where they come out and they really will pelt you with a bag of Skittles. I've seen a lot of kids get hit
Beating
with
the
them.
shit.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
they're just all like,
I was ducking. I
Yeah.
remember just covering my head, like,
yeah,
oh god.
one like whizzed right by us, like, and you're just all like, fuck. Like,
Now they're my favorite group because if you make kids cry, that's my favorite thing.
well, the kids loved it once they realized what had happened. It's sort of like in that GIF where you see, or a little clip. I'll find it for you guys if you want to see it. I don't remember what pay-per-view it was, but Kofi was on the top rope and he's got his pancakes and he looks down and you see him clearly look down at this woman who's looking at her phone and he just hits her right in the face with a pancake and she looks up and he shrugs like,
That's
like
awesome.
you're not paying attention. Like, feels like that. But
That's awesome.
I digress. It
happened
was really
to
cool
the
to see him
Jake.
back. I have always liked the single stuff he's done. I even really liked him with Braun Strowman. I thought it was stupid, but I really liked his character at that time. I felt like he came off gritty and tough, and I really liked the look of that evil dragon kind of mask he had on. So I see where you're coming from. I just have a hard time being excited for him, other than I like seeing guys I like make money. So there's that.
Yeah.
Um,
True capitalist.
You're such a piece of shit. I'm voting you out, Clump.
It's
Did
okay.
we vote here? We don't vote here. Sorry.
A true fascist.
Yeah.
No.
Did you have any other tops or bottoms? Because I do want to talk about the last segment for sure, but I want to make sure we get the tops and bottoms out of it before we get to there.
I mean, that segment is my top. Aside from that, I think I got... Yeah, that's mine. I mean, looking through this... Yeah, no, let's jump into the last segment.
All right. Are you ready to get to the last segment there too, the old Kevlar?
Yes, sir.
Kevlar, we didn't catch up with you when you came back. What are you drinking?
Crown Royal.
Oh! Any
Yes.
flavors?
Nope. Well, I have it with Sprite tonight.
All right. A little mixed royal. I gotcha.
Yep.
Little
7 Crowns.
Yeah, a little Royale with spritz. I get it.
Yeah.
Um,
7 Up, not Sprite. I'm sorry.
Ooh, the old 7 and CR.
Yes.
It's got to be abbreviations, which you add a number. So we can get into the last segment. Oh, the other thing is you haven't been on for a couple of weeks either, yeah? How you been?
Good. Hanging in
How's
there.
everyone?
Good. School sucks.
All right. What,
Yeah.
school sucks?
Well, the kids.
I'll tell you, you didn't like school when you're in it. You don't even like that your kids are in it. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
most parents like their kids to be in school, but you're just like, no, this has to end.
No. Every parent right now doesn't like their kids in school.
Now, so in your mind, you're just like, we got to go back to the old days where the kids just learned how to make wood stuff and became a carpenter. When you could
Yeah.
train them at 6 years old to have a trade.
So Amish, the
Learn to
Amish
trade,
life?
lose limbs.
That's not just, well, it's the Amish now.
It's the Amish always.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying because it wasn't exclusively the Amish before. It used to be that you learned your parents' trade and you learned at a young age, and by the time you were 20, you were an expert and amazing in that field and in that trade, and you were a pro. But
Took
nowadays,
over the family business.
yeah, you took over and you just knew how to do it and you were amazing at it. But nowadays, you don't even start figuring out what you're going to do till you're 25, and then you're half-assing it when you're 33. I don't know. That's a different thing. That's
Allegedly.
different. If anybody wants to hire me to be a ref, I started a couple years ago. I'm a little overweight, but I can get around. I have knee braces. I'll be fine. I wear glasses. I'll take them off. Look, here's the thing. I can count without glasses. You can find our contact at WrestlingRocks.com, where you can also find our podcast and our T-shirts.
Yeah, you just can't see without glasses.
I can see enough things without glasses.
Okay.
So you're perfect for AEW. Is what you're saying.
AEW needs me because I'll take off my glasses, and guess what? No 10 counts. Won't
Yeah.
happen.
No, you'll
You
just
see
yell
everything
at
they see.
everyone.
Yeah, I don't see it. I can't call what I don't see, pal. And they're like, you're looking right at it. I'm like, I don't have my glasses on.
Will your lipstick correspond to the meaning of matches too?
Yes.
Nice.
And I'll text you another device that I'll have on, or apparatus at the time, that will be color coded. What?
That
We've been
scares
sponsored
me.
by Bad Dragon. All right, we're not. Sorry. So the
new
last,
XL blank.
Wait, we're not.
we're not.
Damn it.
No, it's just out of
let's
the
see.
kindness of our hearts we talk about this dildo company.
We want
in
them to
Phoenix.
succeed.
Come on, Clump.
We're all about small businesses with large products. Anyways,
Small
as
businesses
we
that make
move on,
obscenely large toys.
the final segment in SmackDown, I thought was incredible. So they had a little teaser before with Alexa Bliss talking to Nikki and her being a little weird and shit. I don't know how I feel about what they're doing with Nikki. I hope it translates to something. And producer has a theory that I've toyed around with in my mind, and I don't think I'm on board with it, but I'm not against it either. But we had Alexa come out, talk some mad shit to Braun, and Braun shaved his head, so he's proven beyond a shadow of a doubt he has the roundest fucking head in all of wrestling.
He had to
Which-
shave off the leeches.
Yeah, he had to get the leeches out. Also, by the way, on the same note, Frankie Kazarian proved it. He looks exactly like Randy Orton when he lets his hair grow out.
Yeah.
As Kaz was in the audience during AEW, and I was like, oh my God, is that a 23-year-old Randy Orton? And I was like, oh wait, no, it's just a normal Kaz now, I guess.
His picture on his Wikipedia page looks like Randy Orton.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So that brings us to the world's roundest head, the spherical head among men, Braun Strowman, being slapped to shit by Alexa, being like, you don't care about me, and blah. Fucking Braun Strowman picks her up, throws her up into the air. Like, it's not like a flat drop. It's up. It's an elevated, and then the lights kick out. Their usage of the lights flickering in the past couple weeks has been so fucking on point, man.
It's
It's been
great.
so good. It's been so good. So you see her go up, you hear her come down, the lights come back on. Braun is gone and Fiend is in the ring with the red light, and he's there to protect Alexa. I am very on board for where this could go. I think personally, obviously, Alexa's involved in the SummerSlam match somehow. But at this point, I don't know because I had fantasy booked. I don't know if it was last week or the week before. I don't remember if it was with you guys or without you guys because you guys are shit and never show. But
Nah, what are
That's
you gonna
us.
yeah, yeah, you guys just like look around at each other like nodding. Yeah, that's kind of what we do.
do?
When you're right, you're right.
Yeah, yeah. Can't argue the facts. But at first I was thinking, hey, you have Alexa in a precarious position that Fiend put her in, but Braun won't save her, and ultimately Fiend loses the match, saving Alexa, is where I thought we were going. But at this point, he's clearly a protector. And before that, I even thought, okay, Fiend has Alexa in a bad position, and Braun turns himself over to the Fiend to set her free. And then it turns out she was involved all along. And at this point, Braun's not giving a shit, so that's not clearly happening. So all my theories of cool ways to book this out is just like thrown to shit. And I'm like, where do you go with this where Braun and Alexa effectively, it looks like they're going to end up as a team or together on some level. What does that make Braun look like on the other side? What do you guys think of this last segment and where we go? Let's start with Clump. Let's start with Kevlar. Fuck you, Clump.
I think it's more of Braun saying he doesn't care about Alexa just to protect her. And the fact that he doesn't want to show any weakness to the Fiend. And hey, you can't get me on a personal level. This doesn't bother me.
Okay.
That's what I think they're doing with it. I could be totally wrong. I don't know where they go from here, though.
Okay. Clump, what do you think they're going with it, or where do you go from here?
I mean, part of me really wants it to be them all coming together. That we think it's going to be a match, that we think it's going to be a fight, but it's the Fiend pulling the strings on everyone.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how they could do that with how they portrayed this, where it's going back and forth.
Wow.
Good
I
morning.
know, right?
I should have started with Clump. I should have started with Clump. We could have avoided that whole scenario.
No,
It was happening either way.
I really think
Really excited about it.
this is the most excited I've ever been. No, but I
Loved
think
it. Ah.
I like that you put in it clumped up the clump thing in the chat.
It did. I totally fucked it up too. Yeah.
Yeah, proud of you. But I would like it to be a merging of everyone. Like, yeah, they're all together. This is the Fiend controlling everyone, or shit, have Alexa be the one in control.
Yeah.
You know.
The Sister Abigail.
Yeah.
I think you keep the separation between her and Sister Abigail, but I think yes. So.
But what if Nikki's Sister Abigail?
I don't think anyone has to be Sister Abigail. I think Sister Abigail was the psychological force that was driving Bray Wyatt. That's not to say he couldn't replace Sister Abigail with a Miss Lexi or with a Twisted Nikki. Like, I think you could replace a Sister Abigail, but I don't think you superimpose a Sister Abigail onto someone. I don't know, maybe I'm off. Where do you think? I mean, I agree with you in that I was hoping initially that we'd have a super faction at the end of it with Alexa, Braun, and Bray. Like fuck, dude. I mean, think about it where the characters are now. I mean, arguably Alexa's at the least intimidating part of her run so far. She's had much more strong showings, but I don't think that she's ever been discounted as a former women's champion or as a not a believable win. I think every time she's in a match, she always wonders, is she going to win this one? I think Braun is showing... I think he's actually getting to a point of successfully showing a darker side of him. I think previous promos were unsuccessful attempts to make you believe there was a darker side. I think now he's actually doing something with it. And I think Bray obviously is fucking Bray. He's fucking Fiend, like unstoppable. If you put those three power personalities together, you could have a force where you think, well, fuck, they could legit run roughshod on this whole fucking company if they want. They could be the only ones to take down Retribution.
Yeah.
But I don't know. At this point, I don't see the three of them ending up together. I see I see Bray and Fiend, and I see Braun going on to do something else. I don't know. I feel like that at the end of the match, it's going to be decided based off of Alexa, and that Fiend's going to make a move to leave the match because of Alexa one way or the other.
I can get that, yeah. I don't know, man. There's a lot of options with this. I think it's going to be interesting no matter what they do. Like, you'll never see it coming.
Yeah. I do think with the amount of fantasy booking we've been doing every week where I'm like, okay, hear me out. And I'll go on for like 20 minutes. Every week, the next episode, I'm like, well, fuck, that's gone. I can't do that now. And so it's like...
Work KO into this. Just bring KO back into something.
Yeah, I really want more KO.
Yeah.
Anything else either one of you wanted to say about that segment or the storyline, other than just pure excitement and glee? And I'm actually excited about this one right now because I'm more compelled about Alexa's involvement with Fiend than I am about Braun and Bray. But I do think there's a deep-rooted thing enough in Braun and Bray that I'm happy for it.
I'm excited because this is one of those times where I really, truly can say I don't know where this is going to go. And I don't see it going in a bad way. I mean, I could see it going in some god-awful, terrible ways, but I have hope. Hope is back. Please don't ruin this for me.
Ooh, what if Goldberg returns and he's wearing a Fiend mask?
Please don't ruin this for me.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
What
He
if
takes the
Brother
title
Love-
right back off of Braun.
Oh, fuck off.
Ooh, Brother Love could be their manager. Funhouse Love. We're doing good stuff here, guys. We're doing good stuff.
Richard, if you need to hire people.
Yeah. Bruce.
Very
Brucey,
debatable.
are you listening?
That's very debatable.
Oh, my God. Kevlar, anything you want to say on this topic?
No, it's one of those, like, you just can't find the pulse. You don't know what direction they're going in, and it's intriguing. I like it.
Yeah. I think maybe that's what's most exciting about it is every week we go, oh my God, they can go all these different ways. And every week they do just one little thing that makes you go, none of those ways would work anymore. So now what are all the ways they can go? And every week it's like, fuck, it's something else. And to see Bray put the mandible claw on Alexa 2 weeks ago, and then this week to see Alexa take a fucking missile military press.
Yeah.
Like, for one,
got
Alexa's showing
yeeted.
up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she got yeeted. But she's showing up. And I'll tell you this. Ever since Stomping Ground last year with Alexa versus Bailey, I've been incredibly impressed by everything that Alexa seems willing to do and that she's been doing moving forward. And to see this level of how in she is, like, I mean, hats off. Like,
Well, see, I think the Braun throw, I thought they changed angles because there was a mat there.
what?
Like when Braun threw her,
Oh,
they're like underneath, and I think there was a safety mat there.
oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe, but it's still like good and
I
impressive.
mean,
the
it's
way they
not.
did
It's yeah. I mean, people think she'll jump and land like that. You know, she jumped off of Braun's shoulders to do the twisted bliss. But
That's true.
I just thought that there was a safety mat there, just because of the camera angle and how they switched it and lights going off.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. I think also falling into a safety mat from 10, 11 feet in the air is probably still something that's not everyone's going to jump to do.
In the dark.
In the dark. Grim Reaper brings up a really good point. If what I said is true and Goldberg shows up in a Fiend mask, it would be the first time we ever saw Goldberg and the Fiend together because other things never happened So that's a good point. It's a good thing to bring up. But I agree with that. There's a good chance there was some sort of crash pad or something, but it came off and looked great. And
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm really happy with her involvement in it the way we've been seeing it. It's been really cool. I mean, and I just kind of I feel almost semi obligated to say that level of stuff about her, because if you go back a year and a half to when we started, it was a lot of, are we fucking serious with this Alexa shit? Like, I try to be as fair as I can and if somebody who I previously did not like at all is doing stuff that impresses me, I feel I need to go over and beyond to say they've turned me around. I don't know if that's worth anything or not, but I feel like in this case, yeah, I feel like the Alexa's turned me around on that. If there's nothing else you guys have to say about that show, we can move on to Raw.
Let's jump in the Raw.
Did you? I felt like this was a tale of two Raws. I feel like it was either stuff I couldn't care less about or stuff that was done very well. But I also feel like, in credit to the talent, the stuff I couldn't care less about was performed perfectly. They did an absolute great job of what they did. They just couldn't make me care. And the storylines I did care about, they took it to another level, is what I kind of felt like, personally.
I appreciate your effort. I couldn't give a fuck about it, but I appreciate you trying.
Yeah, you did fucking great, kid. I'm still not going to watch.
It's like watching, yeah. You did great at the talent show, but it was a talent show.
Do you guys have any tops or bottoms for Raw? We'll start with Kevlar.
Can't think of anything off the top of my head. I didn't like the Samoa Joe having the
Say
footage
what?
running.
Say what?
Oh, Samoa Joe having that footage?
The Samoa Joe having, the footage of Selena
Why?
poisoning.
He's been liked and respected by all of his peers.
I think the lead up to it was just stupid. Like,
it was weird to do
There-
that
there's
much
like
lead up,
10
go to
minutes-
commercial, and then come back and fill it in.
yeah,
That was weird.
That's what I was gonna say was on my bottom, is because they led up to it for so long. It was like, just show the fucking clip already.
Yeah, just fucking get there. Yeah, the fact that it was almost 2 segments long, it seemed entirely unnecessary. But at the same token, Samoa Joe did fantastic delivering that information. Took his little dig at Byron. Zelina did a fantastic job of reacting to that in a very realistic manner. Dawson was there. So,
But the other thing I didn't like about it was, why did what's his name?
Angelo Dawkins,
No. The
why is he here? Why can't he be off TV?
that's we have to
Take him off TV?
every week.
Yeah.
No, the dude that loves everyone. What's his name?
Brother Love.
Angel Garcia.
Angel
Garza. Angel Garza.
I don't understand why he flipped out about it and ran to the back.
Because he's trying to fuck that girl who's chilling out with Dawkins. And he's like,
That's
yo, let me
fair.
get your number, fam. And he goes, no.
But no, because they
I'm
said they
gonna
had
fuck around
footage.
on my wife with you and the other one.
Yeah. But no, because he said they had footage, and he's like, "Ugh," and he like booked it, and Selena.
Oh,
and-
gross, dude. Do you think he thought it was footage of him and Charlie?
It was something that he thought that wasn't there.
Ugh.
Oh, you'd watch it.
Oh, come on.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I would. What? What? I watch everything wrestling related. That's not on me. I saw that China tape.
I was gonna say I didn't want to, but I saw the Sunny.
Yeah, that Sunny one was hard to get through, but I got all the way through it. Yeah. What? She farts in it. It's a highlight. You can't miss that.
Only for you.
Well, it's not the highlight you expect, but it's the highlight you deserve.
And every cinematic masterpiece has to have a surprise in it.
You gotta wait for the twist in the
Yeah.
plot.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't just a farce.
Oh, none of us saw that coming.
SummerSlam.
From out of nowhere.
Brought to you by Filiberto's.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah, we're trying to get that Filiberto's sponsorship. Super Fries, they could make a Sunny tape happen.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't make the tape.
Can you
Alright, so-
confirm that? What's your alibi? You've talked a lot about closets today, champ. That's a great place to film this.
Yeah.
That's true. I am watching. Can't even defend myself anymore. Okay, so your bottom was the drag out of that. I agree with that. The drag out was weird. Garza's been weird. I don't have much else to say about that part other than everyone did a good job with it. I can't complain every time they give TV time to Joe. That's almost how I feel about it. Because I'm just in on anything Joe.
No, I'm behind that 100% too. He's amazing, and put him on more shit. They need like a Samoa Joe show.
Yes. The All Joe Show.
Yeah.
Clump, did you have a top or bottom specifically?
I have a lot more bottoms than tops. I top. If I had to give a top, I loved fucking Shelton Benjamin literally burying Apollo Crews.
That was a little inside baseball for me, but I wasn't totally against it.
I thought it was funny. I mean,
yeah,
I don't think it's meant to literally bury him. I think they're playing into it because they're giving a lot of time to Apollo. If you wanted to bury Apollo, you do what you did with him for the past 2 years and fucking leave him off TV. You know?
It's true. I mean, I do think it was a little bit of like, you know, it was. I feel like there was a good chunk of tongue in cheek. I feel like the amount of talk the MVP's been doing about catering, the amount of talk the AEW's done about not being willing to be the one to sit and stare at the lights for you, and I mean, there's just been so many comments in the last several weeks about backstage production. Predetermined. Like, there's been so much stuff about that seeing one more thing made me go, another thing where we're gonna be like, hey, I'm burying this guy.
But that's where producer here, that's where I feel like that's kind of where we are now with the way social media is, with all of these dirt sheets. I mean, maybe they just feel like, hell, let's just go on in this because we can't not, right? Because if we don't, we're damned. If we do, we're damned. I kind of get that sense that what are they going to do?
So when they don't play into that patronizing smart mark mentality, it's that you're insulting their intelligence, expecting them to believe it. All right, well, Scrubs expects me to believe JD's a fucking resident. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay to expect me to believe in these characters and what they believe and what they want. But I think that we're starting to blur the line too much catering where, like, when DX would say shit about the clique or whatnot, you'd be like, oh, he wasn't supposed to say that. Or when he would tell Brett, you know, oh, you've had sunny days, and that's a whole other fucking thing. But you go, oh, that sounds backstage. But they would get back to what they were doing, and I feel like that so much is trying to catch on those little moments that all of it can't be that moment. Otherwise, you've just... it's harder for me to get into it when you keep saying... Don't forget. You know what I mean? But with that in mind, if there wasn't a slew of all that other stuff that seems needless to me, then this moment would have been that, oh, shit. Because this was done very, very well. And very subtly, semi-subtly. You know what I mean, Clump?
Yeah.
So I agree with you in that it was pretty cool to see it that way. For me, it felt tainted because of all the other segments that keep talking about backstage stuff.
And it is weird. Like, I like that point that you're making because it is a bit weird that we have them joking about backstage and catering and stuff like that. But then we also have where in relation to catering is the Raw Underground blood sport fights. Like how? Like, do you describe backstage like, yes, you take a left beyond where the donuts are. You got your locker room. Oh, and then there's some people fighting with their hands dipped in leftover maple syrup and glass.
Dude, there is no doubt in my mind that Raw Underground door does not go to an open room. Because the way that they angle it when someone walks into it with smoke coming out of it, that's a fucking closet or a bathroom or something.
Yeah.
That does not go into a big space. And it even has a piece of paper with scribbles all over it. There's definitely like a janitor's closet sign they're covering.
Mm-hmm.
It's gotta be. Absolutely gotta be. Grim Reaper says in the chat, and Grim Reaper knows he's in the Not Sam chat with me too, and I'm really glad he's come over to hang out, man. I appreciate it, and absolutely chat in here as much as any point you want to make to counterpoint or anything. We read all the chats as they come through, not just super chats. It's just kind of our thing until we get enough crumbs, you know. Grim Reaper says MVP is just so natural and smooth with his promo that it still comes off good, and I agree with that. When he brings up the catering stuff, it still comes off legit and smooth and good and believable. However, it's a little too inside for me with so much other inside stuff. It's just becoming a little annoying to me. Not that he's bad or not believable.
I get that. I agree with that. I mean, yeah,
But I do love the Hurt Business. I love everything they're doing.
yeah.
I
good.
I want to be catered to a little bit. I want to be pandered a little bit. If we're all willing to accept it's a TV show, and it's just people playing parts, then I just want to. Why can't we agree to just be okay with that and live in that? Like, it's not insulting to my intelligence to say this character believes this. It's insulting to my intelligence to tell me that you're insulting my intelligence or someone else is insulting my intelligence that I believe a character would believe that. No. I get that they're not really like that. I get that Seth Rollins doesn't actually want to rip out Rey Mysterio's eyeball. And I get that Mysterio's not really trying to rip out Seth Rollins' eyeball. But it's not insulting to my intelligence to not consistently wink at the camera and say, this has been determined beforehand. We have special graphics guys. Don't worry about it. Other guys who aren't in favor with the office are going to be in catering. I don't need to hear that to buy into it and not feel insulted. But I'm starting to wonder if I'm alone in that. Do people feel insulted when their characters believe in themselves? Does that make sense, what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Like, there's got to be a bit of more of a balance to it, or maybe we need to go back to more of a kayfabe because of just how we have so many different ways these are running. You know?
Yeah.
Like, we can't have the most grounded fighter in John Moxley and then Chris fucking Statlander. You know, we
Exactly.
can't have.
And to me, what made the kayfabe break on camera so important was that kayfabe was real off camera. So now there's no reason we can't reverse that. We make kayfabe really kayfabe on camera, so that way when we're off camera, we know everyone's smart enough to know. You know what I mean? Like, we can give you the off camera shit if you at least give me the on camera shit.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the natural compromise you make with kayfabe. Can we please stop talking kayfabe and reality on camera? And that way, when you're off camera and do all the interviews, I can hear about Seth Rollins talking about his kid or family or what he wants to do after the fact, or Bayley saying what she wants to do when she's done wrestling. Like, I can hear all that stuff later and be okay with it as long as on the show, none of that stuff exists. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is that like an unfair balance to ask for, Kevlar? What do you think?
No, I definitely see where you're coming from, but see, I just don't know if it's just us diving too deep into things. You know what I mean?
All right.
And just and instead of just taking it for what it is, just
All right. I'll white
Hey.
flag it right now.
like a year ago, you were just sitting at the day or whatever catering. You know, it's like, all right, hey, I'm gonna send you back there.
Yeah.
you know, and maybe not so much. Like I said, maybe we're just digging too deep into it and saying, hey, you know, yeah, just digging too far into it,
Yeah, I mean that
reading too
could
much
be.
into it, and instead of just like I said, just instead of just taking it for what it is, like, hey, I'm gonna do this, like, that's it.
I could see that. I mean, I get that, and I'm talking more broad. I think, at least I'm trying to talk more broad than just that Shelton thing, because I do think that Shelton thing was good, and I think isolated in a bubble, fucking beautifully done, so good.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes me think about all these other things, and I've had enough drinks to get all riled up about it, and that's kind of the point of the show, I think. To have just enough drinks to get pissed off about something that's not what you said.
You get to this, like, I almost want you to get more drunk because you get to the point where you like want to obsess about it, but you're not drunk enough that it doesn't make sense and you
No.
kind of just give up.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
Like,
Yes.
I need you to drink another bottle so I can just like be like, I can be smarter and talk you down, because that doesn't
You're
happen.
just Clump, you're just drinking vicariously through Marsh.
Hell yeah. Clump's drinking vicariously through me. Drunk's all like, Clump's all, it's the kind of drunk I'd like to be.
Drunk's
Yeah.
all like,
Yeah, drunk so like, what's going on?
Yeah.
He's putting his head down.
Yeah. Clump's like, if I was a drunk, it's the kind of
I
drunk
am
I'd
a
like
drunk.
to be.
I'm no longer one. We learned.
I know, you're doing good. And I'm spiraling. No, I'm kidding.
You didn't have to take on this mantle for me. It's okay.
I know.
It's not like a pregnancy, but in reverse.
Just like sympathy drunk. He's got to be sober. I don't have a choice.
Now I have to drink
Hey,
for
stop. You're gonna
two.
drink for two now. No,
Yeah.
you don't.
Yeah. Problem is, you already were.
It's like the amount of people who are like, "Hey, 2 years sober, I'll drink to that."
Yeah.
No,
You're like,
that's
what?
not
No.
what we're doing.
Yeah. That's not the cheers I'm looking for. You're all, it's,
By the way, it's
I got to
2
drink
years
for
today.
2 now.
That's
You're
2
like,
years of-
I used to drink for 3, so now you got to drink for 4. Like, fuck.
Do you know? It's impressive that I had an alcohol problem, given the amount I had to drink to be drunk. It's okay.
Oh, yeah, dude. It got expensive.
Yeah,
I
no,
started going rocks. That's how we got to the rocks, man. Too expensive with all the mixes.
yeah, cut the filler.
Yeah. How's your mixed drink going there, Kevlar?
It's good. Just
Yeah,
mix
it's
it
good.
another. All this talk
huh?
needs me to get another one.
Yeah, go ahead.
So
Make
I'll-
yourself another one.
Yeah.
Clump, did you have another top or bottom?
Bottom. Shawn Michaels selling that fucking punt.
He didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so skip.
This has killed so many people, but no, I'm Sean. I'm Sean. Like, okay, cool.
It felt so weird. It was
Right?
weird because I wanted to be mad at the no sell, but I just felt like so bewildered that he just did that. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like when Austin Aries just walked away after Morrison beat him or whatever, and you're just all like, he just fucking walked away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it just looks weird. When Shawn Michaels got kicked in the head, and you're like, oh, we got punted, and as soon as the camera cuts back and he's crawling away, and I was like, what?
Damn it, Sean.
Like I was, dude, I couldn't even be mad. I was so confused. I watched it like 4 times. Like he just gets up, like
on a closed set in a
Yeah,
place
I
where
was
they
like-
could not do this.
you just go back and be asleep again.
Yeah. They had a
Like-
conversation about this. They had production post meetings. They're like, "Oh yeah, so we just cut it. No. Show him getting up. No. We've literally had the 16-time world champion not get up. We've had
Murdered.
people. No. Make him get up. It's Sean.
Yo, Edge,
No.
Christian, Big Show, those 3 aren't exactly in the twilight of their career per se. Look, they are, but they aren't. Obviously, they've had a long career behind them, but
in
they're
the twilight
young
of their
and strong
importance.
enough. But you get a punt kick and it knocks out Christian. Like, and then Shawn Michaels just all like, nah, I get this all the time. What?
You see
Barely
his eyes?
grazed
I
me.
can take this.
Yeah. What was that, Kevlar?
Said barely grazed me.
Yeah. Oh, you almost got me good. What?
The next time we see Sean, he better have not fucked up eyes. Like maybe,
Yeah, one of those eyes is straight now.
oh shit, fixed them. Yeah. I meant to lay down, but things I could suddenly see is great.
Who was it in the Triple H birthday marathon that talked shit about Shawn Michaels' eyes? Was it Stephanie? Or was it Road Dogg? Somebody made mention of his cross eyes, and I was all like, oh. Because I remember when I met him, the first thing I thought is, where's that eye looking? Like, because I saw him, and it was a huge weight. I mean, there was a ton of stuff. He was like goofing off with the Nasty Boys, and I was like, please don't make me miss Brett. He leaves in an hour. Like,
Yeah.
You know what's so funny about that
Don't
meet and greet I think
ruin
about
this.
is producer got me the tickets as a surprise, and it was incredible. And the tickets were to meet
And
Sean.
and I should point out that Marsh had actually stopped watching wrestling for a long time.
Yeah, I wasn't
So-
watching at the time.
So this was him coming back into the fold.
Yeah,
if you
and
will.
she had got me meet and greet tickets for Shawn Michaels. And when she's like, hey, did you get anything in the mail? And I was like, no. She finally figured out what was going on, sent me the info, and she goes, just know he's not pre-selling tickets, so I couldn't buy it, but he's there. Bret Hart is going to be around the corner. I was like, holy shit. She basically dragged me through tickets to a meet and greet to try and meet Bret Hart through Shawn Michaels. So when Shawn Michaels was like wasting time and dicking off, I was like, I've got to get to Bret. Like,
And I wasn't even there. I was
yeah. So it was like this
Overseas.
crazy, like, I'm here to meet Shawn Michaels, but really quickly so I can get to Bret Hart.
Yeah.
Like, it was this weird, it couldn't have been more heel, babyface style meet and greet. Where I was all like, I have to get through Shawn to get to Bret. Like, I mean, and obviously it was awesome. And me and my buddy stood behind Shawn and did the suck it arms. But the first thing I thought of when I saw the picture, I was like, as soon as I saw him, I was like, where's that eye looking? Second time I look at the picture, I was like, he's in good shape, but that eye is just everywhere. Like, and I love the guy, and he's a legend, but that eye's all over the place.
And right behind Marsh is actually when he did
The picture
finally.
itself, the Shawn Michaels right there is the one he signed for me.
No, I was thinking of Bret Hart and Anvil.
Yeah, and
when you
I
finally
mean, put
did
the
meet
glasses right here. Obviously, it was so funny. And then way up there, you can't even see in the shot, is the Shawn 8x10 I got. But the Brett, boom, right here. Anyway, side story. I apologize for sidetracking.
And that makes up for the Montreal screw job. All of that.
Yes, and I have an Earl Hebner figure right here. So, anyone who's wondering. So I apologize, but Kevlar, you had stepped away, I think, briefly when he mentioned it was the Shawn Michaels not sell job.
No, I agree with that.
Yep.
Like everyone said, Randy's kicked everyone in the head and everyone's been down, and Sean just kind of, crawls to the corner and
He just like rolled up.
yeah.
Given how we've all seen Hulk Hogan versus Shawn Michaels, where Shawn is fuck you selling for Hogan. I kind of wanted Shawn to literally explode.
So Leo Rush, just
Just
Like
red
one of
mist,
those-
like fuck.
Yeah, like one of those powder golf balls.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
like I want to see jelly all over the glass. Like, oh no, organs.
Yeah.
It just pans to the commentator's table. Everyone's mouth is just open, like.
Yeah. Dear Lord.
Yeah.
We paid Tom Savini for this.
Yeah. Instead of the old JR, by God, he's got a family. It's just Tom Phillips going, oh God.
Crying a
Just
bit.
spray commentary with goat innards.
Yeah.
Like,
Byron Saxon just. And Grim Reaper brings up a good point in the chat, especially since it was an RKO and a punt. He took both of those things and was all like, "Fuck, that was wild, huh?" He rolls to the corner. I forgot.
Headache.
Go ahead. Yeah. Ugh, rough. Oh,
feel
Leo
it's
Rush. Leo Rush had a tweet, which I don't like all of his tweets, but I really like this one. He said 2008 Shawn Michaels would have sold that kick for a month. Yeah. Like, awesome.
That's good.
It was good. Yeah. So, yeah, that was definitely... and it was one of those things, Clump, that I can respect and understand why it ended up on your bottom. I felt so blindsidedly confused. I don't know that I've even still processed it. Like, how could you just roll over and go to the corner and be all like, "Oh, this is bad. Oh, it's bad," and then not even warn McIntyre on 2 fucking invasions by Randy again? I just that whole bit of the segment after that, I was like, what is happening? So yeah, I agree that it's a horrible thing that happened. I don't think I've processed it. I think I'm in denial. I'm going to be honest with you. It wouldn't have ended up on my bottom because I'm in denial, I think. No, he wouldn't.
Maybe it was rigor mortis. Maybe he's dead.
Yeah.
Just stiffened up.
Yeah.
Just the nerves.
Yeah. It's just nerves.
Yeah.
Kevlar, did you have another top or bottom? Unless there was something else either one of you want to talk about with that segment.
That's what I think of.
No. Did you have a top or bottom on that, Kevlar, the show?
Not that I can think of right now.
All right. Clump, did you have a top or bottom?
Akira Tozawa, just the dude sells. The dude only weighs like 20 pounds, so it's easy to throw him into things, but damn does he sell.
He is the Kenny of WWE.
He's the best seller.
Every episode, I go, "Oh my God, they've murdered Akira Tozawa."
If Randy punted Akira Tozawa, he would explode.
He would figure out a way to detach his neck just far enough to make it land funny. You know what I mean? Like that dude, he's the one who sold the Black Mass going stiff like a tree, like UFC style. Arms out, zombie style, fell over with legs crossed. And then when Aleister Black rolled him over, he didn't separate his legs. He left him like stiff together. And I remember thinking like, "Oh my God."
That's why he's still there.
Yeah. I actually posted a picture of a Kenny figure, like a little toy, where he's like clearly dead, where you can see his ribs, and I said sneak peek of the next Akira Tozawa Elite figure. I tweeted that out a while back because, fucking Christ, that guy, he sells and bumps better than anybody in the whole fucking world. He's like, "Oh, do you need someone to kick my face completely off? I can do that. I can remove my face." Like, "No, you can leave your face." And I go, "I'll take it off. I'll take it off right now."
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Just have him give me a low blow and I'll fire like my colon out of my ass. It'll be perfect.
If he gives me a low blow, I'll squirt blood from my eyeballs. You don't need to do that, dude. All right, do you want me to like have my neck like snap or something? No, just fall. I will literally have my knee removed if you want it to fold the other way.
I don't think subtlety is his thing.
Yeah.
I'm investing in surgeries where I can remove like limbs.
Yeah. Tozawa's all like, "I've had both my kneecaps removed so you can fold my legs forward. Is that helpful?" Like, what? That's how Tozawa sells to me. He just folds up into fucking luggage.
I am nothing but cartilage. There is no bone.
Yeah. Here's the deal. I've had all my bones removed. Wait. I want you to stop there. You're getting a raise right now. Was there anything else that you had, Clump, specifically?
Yeah, that I mean, it was kind of just a weird episode of Raw. I mean, I don't need to see Nia and Shayna in a Raw Underground match, and that.
Well, let's talk about Underground for a second. I thought Underground overall was fantastic, and I really like where they're going with it right now. Where do you guys both think about Underground? Kevlar, you start. Go.
I'm still confused about it. Like,
Yep.
there's a lot of me that doesn't like it, but it's like, hey, this could be cool. Because what was that big dude's name
Sure.
that appeared on it a couple weeks ago?
He's been on a couple times. I don't know his name. I'm not going to be able to say it. Because
Kato
what
something.
I'm going to say... Babatunde.
No,
I was about to say
Kato
Ubuntu. Yeah, which is a Linux operating system.
I was gonna say it sounds like a Star Wars character.
Really, Ubuntu's it's a Linux Macintosh system. So that's all I could think of. So I'm glad you said Babatunde because that's actually probably correct.
No, it's Kato something.
It's not.
Babatunde.
All right.
Babatunde, isn't that the dude from Howard Stern?
Is
No,
that guy from Howard
Babatunde is he was the guy that they prospected who's like 6'10", and he was in the Greatest Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
is
him,
it?
and he's got like the dreads now. He's not the guy
Polish.
guarding the door though.
No.
Oh.
But anyways, like a character like that, I would have preferred to be like in the swamp match. You know what I
He
mean?
can
Like
get there.
He's too tall.
He's too tall for the swamp.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Shit
can't
goes
hide
up
in
to his
the swamp.
ankles. He's
But
the
I think
human
it would-
equivalent of a Florida house.
That would be a really funny image though. If somebody's standing in a swamp and it looks like it's just up to their ankle, and someone jumps in and they just sink.
Yeah.
That'd be a great image.
That's comedy.
That it reminds me of my brother because my brother's tiny, and we talked about filming a thing where I reach a cherry tomato towards him, and then he reaches back and it's a full-size tomato because he's so tiny.
There's
Either way.
a guy that did that. He's a small person, and it's funny because like his buddy is like a big basketball player, and he throws him a tennis ball, and then
Yeah.
like one of those big tennis balls comes in and like knocks
Oh,
him
like a-
over.
The basketball type. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is Channing Fry used to go to the restaurant when I managed the chicken restaurant out here, the Wing Spot. And when he would come over, it was always funny to me because he'd always get a small soda, always small. And I grabbed the cup, and it was just like, it looked like a cup. And every time I handed it to him, his hand would wrap around it. like how you see Andre
Like a
with
little
the beer
beaky cup?
cans.
Yeah.
Yeah, where his fingers literally came around and touched the other side of his hand. And every time I was all like, Jesus. Like,
Dude,
no
that's why
wonder
I
that
get
guy could
this.
just palm a basketball.
Yeah.
Because I'm almost like, here's your cup with like look, I've got a big gulp, and he just grabs this fucking like shot glass out of my hand. I was like, how did that happen?
What happened here?
Yeah, I was like, did anyone else see that? Like, something happened to me. But yeah,
But yeah,
so
like I don't know how I feel about it. I think truly I think they're spending too much time on it. I think if it was like one segment every week of just like two dudes going at it, or two girls going at it, it's fine. And then all right,
Yeah, you had two girls going at it.
God damn it, Clump.
Oh god.
God damn it.
This segment brought to you by Blue Chew. Two girls going at it.
I don't like for
Or
one
dudes,
second
two dudes going at it. I mean,
that Kevlar
we're
likes
an
this.
equal opportunity.
I hate every second about Kevlar enjoying this.
I'm walking out.
Yeah. Producer just left. She's got in the car and left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think there's too much time on it, and I just don't see where they're going with it.
I
Pointless
think
to me.
this. I think that this episode specifically was a really good example of how it can be utilized to legitimize talent you wouldn't otherwise expect it necessarily, right? So in this episode alone, we had Eric from the Viking Raiders talking to Zelina or someone about how cool the Street Profits were. And saying like, oh yeah, we went golfing. I don't know if you saw that, but I'm a good bowler and stuff. And you're like, what the fuck? and he gives a turkey leg to Demi, the girl from The Bachelor, and you're like, okay, did you win even? Like, why? I don't know why you're here.
I'm so happy I was asleep during this.
Yeah, well, producer slept through all of Raw this week. She's like, I'm not doing this. She goes, I can't do
Did
it.
not.
She,
That's
she
a
knew.
lie.
She
Like
somehow
half
knew.
of it.
Well, like the
It
first.
comes on later here, okay,
I
guys?
mean, she says half of it, but when you include commercials, it's 2/3.
Guys, it comes on later here. That's all I'm
It's
saying.
not that late. She doesn't even work on that day. She doesn't work the next day. She's like, that's enough. But so he gives her like a fucking turkey leg and shit, and then we see him in Raw Underground. That's the next time we see him. And in Raw Underground, he gets fucking livid that Dolph Ziggler beat Eric, who had another fight before in a legit wrestling match with actual like chokeouts and grappling with no rules. A no rules match, I'll say. Not legit. I'm not going to go that route of real and fake and shit. This was a no rules match, and it was Ziggler being able to hone his award-winning amateur wrestling style. He has records in that college still. Isn't that true, Kevlar?
Kent State.
Kent State. See,
As
I
far
knew
as
you
I
could-
know, yeah.
I knew that you would have known the state.
And it's Kent.
Yeah.
State of
Is that
Kent.
the one where like all those like hippies got shot?
Yeah.
Who's not shooting
Thank
hippies?
God.
Who's not?
Not
Yeah,
Dolph
Glass-
Ziggler because he's focused on wrestling.
Yeah, glass houses, my friend. Glass houses, you know? But and now you have him showing up here where he fucking demolishes Dolph Ziggler in short time, being like, you can't fuck my friend that way. It's a way to show another side of these characters that is more intense. Here you have a Dolph Ziggler who can't get it done to win these titles, especially in a match against like a Drew McIntyre. But now you see him ripping apart people because you realize, I forgot he knows how to keep someone down and how to choke someone out. And given the opportunity, he could really fuck somebody up. However, there's rules in wrestling. I actually think it makes the matches in the ring seem more believable by having Raw Underground. Because Raw Underground's like, what happens with no rules? Well, these undercard guys who are badass motherfuckers, these double tough sons of bitches, have a real fucking opportunity to knock you out. However, when there's a lot of rules in play, there's a lot more to consider, and that's why they might not look the way that you think they should. Producer has something to say on this.
So essentially, it's like the AEW of WWE.
No, it's like Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
The bloomin' onion.
Yes.
To me, this reminds me of the. It wasn't Tough Enough. What was the Brawl for All or whatever? The boxing match?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a brawl for all.
Yeah.
But it's
It
so it's
And
this.
that ended up horrible.
Yes, because it was done incorrectly. Here's the deal. They gave a bunch of pro wrestlers boxing gloves and said, go have an actual boxing match. That's not them doing what they know how to do. Here's a bunch of trained wrestlers, either professional wrestling or amateur wrestling, or that one guy who they've showed a couple of times now who actually is an MMA fighter. It's more catering to how do we work their shoot style a little bit more like how Ronda Rousey would wrestle. You know what I mean? But without the limitations of a classic wrestling match. We have no rules other than you have to fight. So we get to see these other styles kind of show up. And if somebody, I imagine, I mean, I don't know. Clearly by the look of me, I'm not a fighter in general. But I imagine if someone is highly skilled at that level of any of those combat arts, they also know how to pull a punch.
You're a fighter of words. I'd say that.
Oh, I'll talk some shit. Dude, I'll tell a quick prison story from my time. My time on the inside.
God damn it.
What? I was on the inside. What are you gonna do about it? There
Yeah,
was one. What?
Go.
Yeah. So I was a corrections officer for a while, and there was a time when I was patting down an inmate, and he was a big dude, and he kind of turned his head back, and he looks at me, and he goes, "This is legit how it went down, and it's so funny to me." He goes, "What'd you do if I just turned around and decked you right now?" I went, "What? If you what?" And he goes, "If I just turn around and punched you as hard as I could." I was like, "Oh, I'd put you on suicide watch." And he goes, "Wait, what? You put me on suicide watch?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'd put you in that mental health house because if you're trying to pick a fight with me, you must be trying to die." And the guy just looked at me and he went, "All right, okay." And we got along every day after that.
This is my job. I'm funny. I win.
Yeah, right? You want to talk shit back and forth? We can do that. Yeah.
Did you like shit yourself when that worked? Like, oh, okay.
I was in a really dark place mentally. I didn't shit myself or anything out there. But
Until you went to Nico's.
yeah, it wasn't until Nico's that I truly shit myself. But yeah,
That's why
I don't know.
Filiberto's to sponsor us. They don't. Well, they do, but
Yeah. But I mean, that was just a sidetrack, a fun little prison story. That's I actually how that went back and forth, and like I said, we got along really well after that, and just a funny moment. So I think that Raw Underground provides the opportunity to showcase mid-card and lower talent and introduce new talent, make them look strong without putting them in the ring immediately, especially in an era where they're limited on staff. Realistically, they don't have a ton of jobber mid-card types to roll through. They don't have, like they used to do, you don't have your Zack Ryder, Kurt Hawkins, Club.
fired
I mean,
them.
I'm not saying that I agree with how they were booked, but that's just how they were booked. People went through them on their way up. The Eric Youngs, EC3, all that. People went through them. Without them available, here's a way to put them up against people who are also named talent or talent you've never heard of and have them look really strong and still wonder how are they going to be in a wrestling match.
whenever it comes on, and I still feel like it's a fever dream. Like the idea of it feels like, did I wake up and like, did I fall asleep watching Raw and this happened?
Yeah.
Like, so I'm waiting for it to become more of a thing. I still kind of want to see like a bunch of shifty looking characters in the background gambling on it, or like the idea we had of monitors and having like boardrooms of executives looking people like
Yeah, but that
money.
sort of happened this week. This week,
Yeah,
a
there's
bunch of
one
people got
dude-
knocked over and a bunch of $1 bills went flying.
God damn it.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
one dude in the corner that he kept like counting his money, and he was like looking at him and stuff like that, and kind of, flopping
Yeah.
his bills everywhere, if you will.
That was the guy with the backwards visor, right?
I don't remember.
There
I
was
just
one
remember
guy
seeing
with
him.
that green visor that you see with the thing. He had it backwards.
I'd
Oh,
love
like
to
an
think
old
that.
God.
Yeah,
We have
they started
this
doing it.
old-timey accountant visor.
Yeah.
That's what we said last week.
Yeah, we've been
that,
saying it
I
for, I
said
think,
that
2-3
last
weeks.
week. So
I think you said it the week
Wasn't he-
before last week.
I would like
They're
to think,
listening.
I would like
Brucey, can you hear me?
I would like to think someone's watching us.
They're watching.
We're gonna hear
Yeah.
that. We're gonna hear that line like next week. There'll be like a backstage segment like, "What would you do if I just turned around and hit you?" And you'll hear that and you'll be like,
Yeah, right. Put you on suicide watch. I'm like,
Yeah, we don't need credit. We just need subscribers and followers.
yeah, just
so
sub.
Just do that, man.
Hey, Bruce Pritchard, I know you're watching. Just give us a sub. Give us a quick sub. Have all my ideas. It's fine.
I'm sure
Tell
you
your
got
friends to
Prime.
sub. Yeah, it's a Prime subscribe. It's free to you. It buys me a drink. Come on. Who doesn't want to buy me a drink? Probably most people.
buy you a drink.
Yeah.
Clump paint
So-
over there.
Yeah.
So I do think, though, as much as I hate almost everything that Naya ever does, I thought the usage of her in Underground was smart and well done. I was also excited about them putting the 4 horsewomen of the UFC in there. it kind of starts opening up a lot of questions and doors for, are we going to see any
3.
kind of return or something?
3.
It's 3 of the 4 horsewomen. And Shayna looking like a badass. I'd like to see people start challenging other motherfuckers to a Raw Underground match. I think we're getting close to that. Of Shayna saying, I don't want to see you in the studio. I want to see you in the back. I don't want rules. I want only you and me till fucking consciousness is over. You know what I mean?
No rules.
In an unsanctioned match.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, but it's like a different level non-sanctioned match. That's what I really like about it, and I think they're doing really well about it. Is it plays out like a Steven Seagal movie. I think it's a really cool way to implement.
No, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Steven Seagal is guns and fatness.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
blood
can't
sport.
argue that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a lot like Bloodsport. So, I don't know. I think it's being done really, really well. But you guys both kind of seem on the fence about it. So if there's anything else you wanted to say about the Raw Underground segment, absolutely give it a chop. Go ahead, Kevlar.
Like I said, it's just, to me, it's just taking up too much time. It feels too much like filler. And it's like, meh. It hasn't hit me yet.
Yeah.
I want it to get weirder, and I want it to if either do less time or more time, but make it more affecting. So I'm kind of excited to see the Shayna Nia match as I think about it more, because maybe this will be awesome and bananas. I also want it to get more fever dreamy, and I honestly really do. If Outback Steakhouse sponsored it, I will never watch AEW again because WWE won this.
If they get Outback versus Crackle Barrel, is that what you're saying?
If Outback sponsors No Rules Just Rightland, I'm cool.
Because they definitely sponsored Crackle Barrel. Definitely sponsored AEW's twice. With biscuits.
That's not made me very happy because Cracker Barrel is just a upsetting place.
That's true.
Yeah.
Do you think we should hit a Crackle Barrel on this road trip? Just to piss off Clump?
Yeah.
Ruin his day. We'll send a picture from Crackle Barrel. All right.
Just
any other segments in Raw you wanted to hit specifically?
No.
Nah, man, not really. I mean, it was a pretty low-key show. I mean,
what do you think about Riddick Moss looking good in Raw Underground? I think that's been pretty cool for a guy who did not have a lot going for him before.
I mean, that's the goal of this, and it's a good place to go with them. I'm curious to see if they keep it up and what happens next. So that's not bad. It's an interesting idea, for sure. You know,
I'm happy to see them still progressing the Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott story. I really like that happening. I'm really interested in the Dominic and Seth Rollins story. How do you guys feel about that?
I think I'm excited to see what Dominic can do, because if he can dish out what he took, because he took some fucking shots last week.
He fucking took it.
That was his initiation.
Yeah.
That was his. Who was that guy that won Tough Enough that entered the Royal Rumble and got legit
Frank
fucked
Abbott?
up?
No.
No. He got
the guy who like Cena threw or whatnot. Get a warning this time. You guys there?
Hold up. What happened?
Go to Bluetooth.
My mouse just died.
Oh, we lost all Bluetooth?
Oh, what the hell?
Oh, yep.
Oh.
Go to
Wait.
Bluetooth. Hello?
Hello?
You guys hear me? Go to Bluetooth. Am I there?
Yeah, you're
Oh, hey! Is that you guys?
I can't hear them.
There you go.
I cannot hear them.
You can't hear them?
No.
Can you scroll up to see if we can see their input?
It's right here.
Cap says, oh god. chat should be I show you. I don't see them. I hear me, so they definitely hear me. Go to FaceTime.
And do what?
Actually, go to the speaker. Audio. What does it show?
Your iPods.
Go to multi. Hello?
Hello?
Okay, both of us are there, but they're not there. Oh, Kev?
Can you guys say something, please?
Blah, 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 blah,
Hey.
blah.
There we go. There we go.
Howdy there.
Welcome to Wrestling on the Rocks, where every show is our first show. 'Cause
We almost
can't
made it to
sort
2.
this shit out. We almost made it to the second show, dude. Dude, we were so close to the second show. You guys felt it, right?
1.9.
Yeah. That was one of those things where, like the fucking meter's going, like, second show. And we're like, no. No way we're doing the second show today.
Day since last workplace accident just went to 0.
Went right back to 0, dude. Show 1 again next week. Tune in next week for show 1. This week, also show 1. Week before, show 1, because we can't get this sorted out.
Day since first show 0.
Yeah.
It's always the
Day
pilot.
since first show. Yeah. Always the pilot. Never the... What do they call that other one? Premiere.
Bride?
Yeah. Always the pilot, never the premiere. All right. Well, I'm back. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to say about Raw?
I agree with in terms of, like, it's neat that, you know, we're pushing different people. We're pushing, like, Riddick Moss. I'm curious to see how that continues to go. Really looking at it, I mean, we've talked. I think what this episode shows was it was kind of average because there is a lot of other things we didn't talk about. There's a lot of segments that we're just kind of passing over. Is it that we're not talking about Montez Ford versus Andrade more because we're just so done with it, and it's gone beyond being like I'm like angrily done with it to just okay, whatever. You know?
Yeah. I think... I'm sorry. I saw a different thing, and it's like a butterfly flew by. The show overall wasn't bad. It was not as good as last week, which was very good. I thought the use of Retribution in Raw has always been a little poor. I thought they did not do a great job with Retribution here, but SmackDown's been killing it. I would say the one thing on Raw that stands out that we haven't talked about at all that really did bother me was that Sasha and Bayley against Asuka and Shayna did not end in a disqualification, even though Shayna had been attacked by Nia.
Mhm.
I couldn't make any sense of that. And every moment after Nia came through that plexiglass, I could not make sense of the rest of the match at all. And it was really, really pulled away from me, especially when you guys consider the amount that I put over every single segment that Bayley and Sasha is in every time. But that was one where I was all like, how am I supposed to move forward with this? We've even seen in the past where a referee is distracted and someone from like the side of the ring is pulled away and dragged away, and the referee acts like, where did they go? But here was like a legion of people coming from the back and making noise, throwing Nia out as she's beating the shit out of Shayna, and John Cone's in the ring like, I don't know, looks fine. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that was the one big down for me on Raw where I was just like, I don't know how to fucking cope with this or even watch the rest of this segment. But that was kind of, as far as everything else I felt like we touched ground on. Was there anything else that you need to talk about, Clump?
No, I think that's I think that's it for me. Like,
Yeah.
I think we did a pretty good amount covering it. It was a good week of wrestling overall. Hopefully, you know, it led into a fair amount at SummerSlam. Hopefully, it's a good weekend of wrestling. And next week we have, you know, more to talk about, either exciting or just frustratingly shitty.
Yeah, 100%. I think that we're leading into... I think we have a really nice lead into the weekend of wrestling. Kevlar, was there anything else on Raw that we didn't hit that you you felt like you wanted to talk about?
No, I don't think so. I think we hit all the major points.
I think we got all the stuff. I'm actually pretty excited for SummerSlam overall. Kevlar, you were saying that on Saturday you're thinking about doing you'd like to do a prediction show like old time's sake.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't done one in a while. Just throw up a random show and give our picks for each match and
And why?
see
What
who
we'd like to see you go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I'm actually on board with that. Clump, are you free on Saturday?
No, Saturday, Sunday I work.
Do you work by the time that the pay-per-view's on or late on Saturday?
I'll be on till 6:30 Saturday.
PM? Okay, that's late.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that me and Kevlar will probably do a prediction show because I'm up for it. Producer will be working, so I think it'll just be me and a Kevlar show just goofing off. We won't put it on the podcast. So if you guys want to follow us on twitch.tv/Wrestling on the Rocks, we will have our prediction show there. But I don't think we're going to publish it to the podcast. But we will put it on our YouTube, where the link is on our WrestlingOnTheRocks.com, where you can find our shop and our social medias. You can find everything for us at WrestlingOnTheRocks.com, including our most recent show on YouTube. Go ahead, like, subscribe, rate, do all of that cool stuff, and buy a Pointless Aggression t-shirt, because if the internet has taught us anything, it's that pointless aggression is more important than ruthless aggression. Guys, I think that's the last call. What do you guys say?
Boom. I
Yeah.
agree.
Boom.
Do it.
Last call, guys. Thanks for coming through. Cheers.
Have a good
Cheers.
day, guys.